Thank you very much. His opponent from Chinese Taipei. This gentleman won the inaugural International 9-Ball Open in 2018. He also has a 2019 Bigfoot Derby City Championship on the 10-foot table to his credit. Sponsored by Predator and CPBA Cloth. He's known as the Fire Dragon. Please welcome Chang Yung Lin. Okay, guys, go ahead and lag for the break, please. Your official timekeeper is John Baker. I'll send it up now to the comm box to Mark Wilson and Double J.
If you are here to see great pool, welcome, pool fans, as we have 10-ball on the 10-foot table with two of the world's best players, and this match demands the best commentator of today, Jeremy Jones. I'm Mark Wilson. Jeremy, what are your thoughts about the players today?
Đây rồi. Đây rồi là đôi giày. I'm coming back. Hello anh em. Chào mừng quý vị và các bạn đến với ngày thi đấu thứ 2 của giải đấu International Open 2022. Và chúng ta sẽ lại tiếp tục với các trận thi đấu ở nội dung 10 bi trên bàn Bigfoot. Ở nội dung 10 bi bàn Bigfoot thì chỉ có 16 cầu thủ nhận được lời mời, có quyền tham dự mà thôi. Và đây chúng ta vẫn đang ở vòng 1/8, vòng 16 người. Tiếp tục là trận thi đấu giữa Alex Kazakis và Chang Yung Lin. Vẫn là thể thức thi đấu 10 bi phá luân phiên, chạm 11. Rồi, với ngày thi đấu hôm nay thì chúng ta sẽ có lượt trận 11 giờ thì chúng ta sẽ xem 10 bi. Đến lượt trận 1 giờ đêm thì chúng ta sẽ đồng hành cùng với Dương Quốc Hoàng ở nhánh thua. Hôm nay 1 giờ đêm nhá, 1 giờ đêm Dương Quốc Hoàng sẽ đánh nhánh thua. Sau đó thì chúng ta sẽ dành một chút thời gian nghỉ ngơi để 5 giờ sáng chúng ta sẽ tiếp tục cổ vũ Thầy Long phục thù Ekland Keiichi ở nhánh thắng. 5 giờ sáng Nguyễn Phúc Long gặp Ekland Keiichi. Và lượt trận cuối cùng vào lúc 9 giờ sáng ngày mai sẽ là Lương Đức Thiện gặp Roland Garcia. Federer thì 1 giờ đêm nay sẽ đánh nội dung 10 bi. Tuy nhiên thì nó trùng với giờ của Hoàng Sao đấy anh em, chúng ta xem Hoàng Sao rồi và tôi sẽ giữ cái trận đấy lại để trưa chiều ngày mai phát lại nha. Rồi, Kazakis. Anh có cái gì ở đây? Một đánh bi khá đẹp đấy ạ. 1 giờ anh Hoàng đánh có like nhá. Có like. Cảm ơn bạn Nguyễn Tiến Lực nhá. Không biết là bạn Tiến của bạn là bạn nào đấy? Cảm ơn sự yêu mến và đồng hành cùng với tôi của tất cả quý vị khán giả trong thời gian vừa qua. Vừa được kích hoạt tiền sao nha. Anh em ngay lập tức bấm vào hình ngôi sao màu vàng ở góc dưới bên phải màn hình điện thoại của mình đi nào. Thì rồi, tất cả các trận thi đấu được phát vào buổi đêm này thì sẽ là trực tiếp hết nhá. Cảm ơn bạn Đức Chu. Hẹn em hôm nào anh Dương nhé. Ok anh Dũng. Nhưng em bỏ bia rồi. Hứa với anh là bỏ bia rồi. Vâng ạ, giải này thì bàn nào cũng sẽ có cam, cho nên là chúng ta hoàn toàn có thể xem được tất cả các trận thi đấu của Việt Nam. Anh Trang có thành tích gì nổi bật không ạ? Ui, cũng không có thành tích gì nổi bật lắm đâu, chỉ có vô địch thế giới thôi. Cảm ơn bạn Trường Chỉnh với lời chúc dành cho ekip Đào Mõ nha. Chúng tôi vẫn luôn luôn cố gắng phục vụ anh em tốt nhất có thể. Với cái nội dung 10 bi này thì cái bàn này nó là bàn to, cho nên là nó cái giải đấu cái nội dung 10 bi này nó mang tính chất quảng cáo là chính. Sẽ chỉ có 16 cầu thủ nhận được lời mời thì mới có quyền đăng ký tham dự thôi nhá. Cho nên là Việt Nam mình chắc chắn là sẽ không thể nào chen được suất mời vào đánh 16 người rồi.
Yeah, but that's that good timing, right? I mean, the draw grabbed immediately. He knew it. You know, when you're off a little bit, you catch just a sliver of that 9, it ends up on top of the 10 or something like that. A lot of Americans playing.
Trang Dung Linh vô địch thế giới, thực ra là nếu mà để nói là giải vô địch thế giới chính quy thì không có, chính xác. Tuy nhiên thì những cái giải đấu mang đến tầm thế giới thì rõ ràng là Trang Dung Linh đã có vô địch rồi. Chúng ta có thể kể đến như là WCT Classic. Trang Dung Linh vô địch hình như có vô địch thế giới 8 bi hay sao ấy. Có vô địch thế giới nhưng mà vô địch thế giới 8 bi. Mấy giải Nhật Bản mở rộng này, vô địch cả đánh đội thế giới nữa. Hàng sau 1 giờ mới đánh anh em nhá. Có, mấy anh em này đánh cả 9 bi nữa. Tuy nhiên thì với giải thi đấu International Open này thì các cầu thủ top đầu thế giới họ sẽ được xếp hạng hạt giống, cho nên là ở những cái trận thi đấu đầu tiên thì rõ ràng là rất khó để có thể có những cái trận thi đấu hay. Bắt đầu từ đêm nay, sáng mai, các lượt trận ở nhánh thắng bắt đầu thi đấu thì lúc đó thì chúng ta mới bắt đầu có những trận hay để xem với nội dung 9 bi nhá. Lên so có đánh. Lịch thi đấu của các cầu thủ Việt Nam thì sẽ là Dương Công Hoàng 1 giờ gặp Greg Hauger. Một trận thi đấu ở nhánh thua. 5 giờ thì sẽ là Nguyễn Phúc Long gặp Lương Đức Thiện nhánh thắng. Và 9 giờ sẽ là Nguyễn Phúc Long và Eklan Keiichi ở nhánh thắng. Và đến trận thi đấu lúc 9 giờ sẽ là Lương Đức Thiện gặp Laurent Garcia nhé. Có, anh em cứ xem hết trận này đi là sẽ đến Hoàng Sao nhá. Hứa luôn. Hứa anh em luôn. Greg Hauger thì ông này favorite bao nhiêu nhỉ? Bây giờ có lẽ là chỉ có một cái thước đo nó tương đối, đó chính là favorite mà thôi.
Yeah, because he's off angle, you'd rather save that 6 ball if you could, but in this case, it's going to be awkward to stun it out there to get into the side pocket.
I think it's doable, but I don't know if I'd do it myself. Looks like that's where he's going. No, he's playing the combo. And here he has the freedom, I think, to be able to roll this in.
Đây rồi.
Stay above the
Ôi, Greg Hauger favorite có 698 thôi. Xấp xỉ 700, mềm. Cá nhân tôi đánh giá là mềm. Trên so thì vượt qua lượt trận đầu tiên rồi, đang đánh ở nhánh thắng ở nội dung 9 bi, ở nội dung 10 bi thì đêm nay mới đánh, để sáng mai phát lại nhá, bởi vì nó trùng giờ với trận của Thái Long rồi. Bây giờ chúng ta có ưu tiên cổ vũ anh em Việt Nam phát. Vâng, sáng ngày hôm nay thì lúc 9 giờ sáng theo giờ Việt Nam thì Dương Quốc Hoàng có một trận thi đấu với Abdullah Al Youssef. Dương Quốc Hoàng đã để thua với tỷ số chung cuộc là 17. Anh rơi xuống nhánh thua. Phúc Long và Thiện Lương thì vẫn đang ở trên nhánh thắng với 2 trận chiến thắng mở màn. Rồi, một cú cộng bi Ra má xấu, con bi số 3 vẫn gạn được khi mà lỗ to, và tiếp theo sẽ là một pha cộng 4-5.
You're either a little behind it or a little above it. You don't want to be kind of straightish to where
Kazakit cũng là một cầu thủ thi đấu rất tốt, phải nói là rất lì luôn. Tuy nhiên thì cứ vào đến những cái khớp quan trọng là anh lại bị tê, thế mới cay.
a little funny on the point. Expected that four to bounce up a little bit. If you just glance at the table, you would think this is easy, but this ball got a little funny.
No, it for sure did because it's not right on the point. It's actually
Vâng, bàn này thì là bàn 10 feet.
now it's frozen. You have to cut this in. You don't have much
Họ sẽ đo theo đường chéo từ lỗ góc bên này chéo sang lỗ góc xa.
This ball a little bit, or you
Thì bàn này dài hơn so với bàn thi đấu tiêu chuẩn là 1 feet, là khoảng 30 cm. Thì cái với đường chéo 30 cm thì
best time.
chiều dài nó hơn đâu đó khoảng 25 cm, chiều rộng hơn đâu đó khoảng 17 18 cm gì đó.
the cue ball transfer to the 8 quite comfortably because the 8 needs to go into the pocket where the 7 will go.
Bàn này là vừa với mấy anh em trắng này.
The bounce off the second rail, I think here, anyways. But I don't mind putting a hair check on this myself. Just maybe quarter tip.
Lịch thi đấu ngày hôm nay thì sẽ là sau khi chúng ta livestream xem trận này xong thì chúng ta sẽ chuyển sang cổ vũ Dương Quốc Hoàng.
Call second rail.
Cổ vũ Dương Quốc Hoàng xong thì nghỉ chút đến 5 giờ sáng thì dậy xem Thầy Long.
Well, just it's that comfortable swing.
Xem Thầy Long xong lại nghỉ tí nữa đến 9 giờ xem anh Thiện. Đấy.
9 balls up.
Về cơ bản nó là như thế.
Would never go off.
Sau lượt 9 giờ thì đến những cái lượt sau thì sẽ là những cái trận thi đấu của nội dung 10 bi cũng như là nội dung 9 bi
Surprised he went to the second rail there.
được phát lại.
Only difference is
Nếu như mà ngày hôm nay mà Dương Quốc Hoàng thua tiếp trận thi đấu vào lúc 1 giờ sáng ngày hôm nay thì anh ấy sẽ dừng bước.
maybe a little stretch in mind is the only
Trận này đang đánh thật đấy ạ.
usually just
Cái bảng tỷ số vừa nãy nó ở trên góc trên bên trái kia, nhưng mà ban tổ chức thì họ tắt đi rồi hay sao ấy. Chút nữa nó sẽ hiện ra. Tỷ số đang là 1-0 cho Kazakit. Đây, nốt con bi số 10 nữa là 2-0.
Pretty good control.
one thing if you're, nothing's gonna be simple on the 10-footer, but if you can just get into simple and just realize, hey, I gotta make good strokes, I gotta make good shots almost every time. Let's get in a good flow.
2-0.
Vâng, có hai nội dung anh Lợi cà phê nhá.
Break and another run out.
Có một nội dung 10 bi trên bàn Bigfoot và nội dung 9 bi.
They use their head, so that's
Nội dung 9 bi thì cái lượt trận hai lượt trận tới là đánh nhánh thua, chưa có trận 2.
not saying in that
Đến 1 giờ chúng ta sẽ xem Dương Quốc Hoàng đánh nội dung 9 bi.
a mixture of the work and the fun,
Well,
to
one,
say it in a good way. I think.
one of the things that precipitates getting you out of rhythm.
Nội dung 10 bi này là cơ thủ phải nhận được lời mời cơ thì mới được tham gia.
Miss this, so I'll be
Mà nhận được lời mời xong vẫn phải đóng phí 800 đô mới được đánh.
Well, I see it really when they really
Nhất nội dung này có 16.000 đô thôi.
perfect.
Với nội dung 9 bi đánh trên bàn tiêu chuẩn thì giải nhất cho giải đấu này sẽ là 30.000 30.000
Handle and understand that a little recovery is no big deal, even on the 10-footer.
and our players are so experienced because they're elite. They're kind of beyond what we're talking about anyway. They got that.
Và ban tổ chức họ sẽ xếp cho các cầu thủ này đánh
Exactly.
không trùng giờ nhau chứ. Tuy nhiên thì 16 ông này thì ông nào cũng lọt vào nhanh thắng cả.
Great care with the aim on the break. So important to get them square. It's the pink 4 ball right behind.
Giải đăng live nhá, đăng live trực tiếp luôn đấy. Đấy, tỷ số là 2-0 cho Kazakit, ván thi đấu thứ 3. Trời ơi, phá kìa. Bi cái đứng giữa bàn, hai con bi nằm phía sau bi số 1 chui vào hai lỗ giữa.
Chance to play.
Tuy nhiên thì con bi số 1 va chạm và chưa có đường riêng rồi.
Yeah, it'd be hard for me to pass on this one. I'll tell you, I know it's a cutback bank.
Có live Hoàng Sao nhá.
Maybe
1 giờ sẽ đến trận Hoàng Sao.
boy,
Sau trận này là sẽ đến trận Hoàng Sao.
I tell you, if you can bury this bank right here, you probably sit chain.
Ôi 800 đô thì có là cái gì đâu.
If you don't mind, you know,
Đến lệ phí của giải này 500 đô vẫn đánh đây. 9 bi là 500 đô.
you sell out. You just have to be willing to take a long too.
Yeah, I think he,
Trọng tài không phải là Ern Strickland nhá.
yeah, just kind of a rolling bank.
So he's just going to bet the game on this shot.
Yeah, I mean,
Vâng,
that's
cú
just-
cân rất tốt của Kazakit.
I mean, smooth.
yeah,
Trời ơi, một cú cân cu lê.
he's really intact with the timing of the
Cái
shot.
3 băng,
Early.
điều được 2 rồi.
Now he can come with a little inside here since he got so nice on the two. And
Không biết là Shane Van chắc là anh có kèo đi câu cá hay sao ấy. Rút khỏi giải luôn. Tôi cứ tưởng là rút khỏi nội dung 10 bi thôi nhưng mà rút cả khỏi nội dung 9 bi.
This is a pivotal moment.
Vậy là Shane Van không tham dự giải này.
Captures this rack from here. Chang will have not even
Cộng với nội dung 10 bi này thì phá luân phiên nhé. Cả 9 bi cũng sẽ là phá luân phiên.
3-game lead and no signs.
International Open thì sẽ là phá luân phiên.
But also it's very damaging psychologically if he doesn't get out from here.
yeah, and I tell you, it hurts us all.
Có hai cái giải đấu lớn do Acustat là một cái đơn vị chuyên tổ chức giải đấu
When he does make that mistake,
lâu đời ở bên Mỹ. Đó chính là giải International Open và giải WCT Classic.
which it does
Thì
to
với
all
hai giải đấu đó thì đều là phá luân phiên hết.
maybe at times a little more to him than some of the other guys that I put him in the same.
Và cái bàn tivi kiểu như thế này,
He's always
chúng ta cứ nhìn theo cái tông màu nó hơi bị cổ điển một chút. Thì chắc chắn là một là WCT Classic và hai đó chính là International Open.
bank like that, and he's come back from that. It would have wilted a lesser player with lesser intensity. So
Hoàng Sao thì sẽ thi đấu ở dưới nhánh thua. Và trận thi đấu vào lúc 1 giờ này thì anh sẽ có
With some
màn đối đầu với một cầu thủ tên là Greg Howell,
punishing struggles,
một cầu thủ người Mỹ.
big spots.
Bàn này thì rộng hơn bàn bình thường nhé. Bàn 10 feet,
no, and that old saying, when
dài hơn khoảng 25 cm, rộng hơn khoảng 18 cm.
he's tough, I'll tell you that. The man from Greece is a very tough individual on the table between the
Rồi.
ears.
2 bi nữa và sẽ là một pha break and run của
Severe adversity in my
Alex Kazakis.
went to, but I always thought God must think I'm the toughest guy
Hơi với rồi.
on the earth,
Đấy.
to do this.
Cái bàn to này đánh nhiều lúc còn phải để ý xem là có tay hay không.
Around so many young people that you got to remind them you're not the first that this has ever happened to, and
Right.
that's one of the quickest things I say to some people at times that don't feel alone.
Three rails around, inside spin.
Really clean though, you see? He's not worried about getting
Yeah.
it there, that's the key,
He did
Rồi, ngon rồi.
is knowing you're going to get there.
Một bi số 10 nữa thôi. Và Kazakis sẽ gác Chang Dung Lin
You will at a premium
3-0.
you get the most out of it.
Việt Nam thì vẫn còn 3 cơ thủ nhé. Dương Quốc Hoàng, Nguyễn Phúc Long và Lương Đức Thiện. Tôi bắt đầu xem bia cách đây khoảng 2 năm. Thì tôi chưa bao giờ thấy Carlo Biado tham dự cái nội dung 10 bi trên bàn Bigfoot này cả.
Games to nothing.
Có lẽ là anh không thích chơi thôi.
Stellar.
Nhưng còn trình độ thế giới rồi thì vào bàn này là chơi được.
Yeah, pretty perfect, and I love the aggression on the wall.
Trên cái bàn này nó lại hơi buồn cười một chút. Nó là
That's the first thing you
không được sử dụng gậy nhảy.
Yeah.
Nếu mà có sút tê phải sút tê bằng gậy phá. Hoặc là sút tê bằng gậy bắn luôn.
when you do have a reward. And
Ngoài ra thì 10 bi nhưng lại 10 bi không phải chỉ lỗ.
Ton of momentum going for Alex Kazakis and Chang. That, he has one leg that he lost, and then
Theo thông tin tôi được biết thì cái bàn
errors.
10 feet này trên thế giới cũng chỉ đếm trên đầu ngón tay thôi. Rất hiếm.
Chang is so
Chơi 10 bi nhưng mà chúng ta có thể để ý là con bi số 2 và con bi số 3 không nhất thiết là phải nằm ở phía ngoài của hàng cuối cùng.
myself.
Bàn thi đấu thứ tư, cú phá của Chang Dung Lin.
He's going over to
Alex's side.
right. Can't blame him there.
Well, I forget who I
9 đã rơi.
was to yesterday.
Vâng ạ.
Um,
Phá sốc. Còn bị cái cũng nằm ở một vị trí giữa bàn. Một cú phá tốt của Chang Dung Lin.
hardly ever have to tell anything like
Đánh mát máy quá nhở.
any of these guys, but a little reminder you can't be stubborn, on this break. If things
Trong ngày thi đấu đầu tiên ngày hôm qua thì đa số các cơ thủ đều gặp vấn đề về cú phá với nội dung 10 bi trên bàn Bigfoot này.
he showed that
Nhưng
right away,
với trận mở màn ngày hôm nay thì cả Chang Dung Lin và Kazakis đều có những cú phá tốt.
right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to make the change off of one dry break of yours, but noticing what
Hơi lỗi má con bi số 2 rồi.
so far. This is where I think he's as efficient as anyone with the draw.
Đánh bàn này xong khi ra đánh bàn 9 feet hỏng hết tay.
This is a little bit the wrong
Lực đánh
angle.
toàn to hết cả tay rồi.
I think he'll go to the side pocket on the far side. He'll be playing longer position.
Yeah, but this one's not too bad. But just those in betweens, you know, sometimes you got to kind of like bounce it out a little bit
Yeah.
to make sure
Rồi.
it's not scratching. And he just does all those types of shots.
Cả một bằng vẫn ra, tuy nhiên thì pha này bắn lại hơi với rồi.
Efficient he was with the economy of power, but yet the
Mặc dù là một cầu thủ châu Á, tuy nhiên thì thể hình của Trang Dục Linh cũng không tệ một chút nào.
He hit the pocket so clean like these guys do. Their speed control is stellar. It's when you stagger a ball into the pocket, it still goes, but you actually missed it inside the pocket is all. And then your cue ball gets a little funny.
Bàn này mà gặp Alex Paulean với lại cả kiểu Roberto Gomez các thứ suốt ngày lấy nối với cả lấy lết.
Yeah, and a big one on that speed control that I've always found, at least for myself, and what I've seen from the great players is when you're not steering the cue. You know, when you're swinging it, that's when
4 bi nữa.
your mind and your body, your brain, and everything is connected the best, and the speed seems to be its best.
Good shot there.
There's so many shots on the pool table, you can't practice them all. You know, you just got to go with that gut.
Right. His approach line to the 7 ball was to get a little bit longer so that he had a big ample space to get into.
Vẫn là những cái đường bi phải nói là rất chắc chắn và độ chính xác rất cao
On the stretch.
của Hỏa Vân Tà Thần Đài Loan, Trang Dục Linh.
Yeah, he has to be one of the taller Asian players in the field for sure.
Wow, he's 16. I can't.
Không, bàn này không to bằng bàn snooker đâu, bàn snooker to hơn nhiều.
Better maybe is a little, 6 foot, I guess. But
Thói quen của anh Trang là anh hay một số lúc trong những cái thời khắc mà tập trung là anh hay há miệng. Sửa.
Good shot there.
1-3.
Quality break and run out for Chang. 3-1 is our score. Yeah, when I saw the lineup for today, and this is the opening match, I thought, right, get a little electricity going early on.
Thương hiệu bàn bia
And
tốt nhất
later
Việt
today
Nam.
we'll be seeing Filler. Shaw hasn't played. We'll get some super firepower coming up.
Trận thi đấu giữa hai cầu thủ Trang Dung Lin và Alex Kazakis trong khuôn khổ nội dung 10 bi giải đấu International Open 2022 được tài trợ phát sóng trên nền tảng của Lão Mao Spotlight bởi nhà tài trợ KK King. KK King là đơn vị có kinh nghiệm hơn 30 năm trong việc sản xuất, lắp ráp và cung cấp bàn bia tiêu chuẩn thi đấu nhãn hiệu KK King tại thị trường Việt Nam. Xin được cảm ơn nhà tài trợ KK King đã đồng hành cùng chúng tôi trong quá trình phát sóng giải đấu International Open, phục vụ quý vị khán giả yêu bia. Chào anh Huy nhá. Hello anh.
tough one last side match early.
Đây là Long Hổ Môn, ở Long Hổ Môn đâu? Anh em Đài Loan gọi Trang Dung Linh là Hỏa Vân Tà Thần mà.
These kids, in my opinion, the only thing they need.
Nhìn trông đã thấy lực rồi.
Everything, of course, but besides that kind of stuff, it's just
Ván thi đấu thứ 5,
there's more and more.
Kazakis và Trang Dung Linh đều có 2 pha break and run rồi.
All right, you see he
6 đã rơi. 1 đi đâu?
off, then he
Ôi
does
trời,
on the other.
đỏ luôn.
Looks like
Pretty good
Đỏ luôn.
opportunity if he can get the 1 ball.
Vào đúng một cái má A bằng được con đi số 1.
sticking out quite a bit. He may end up hitting the one a hair thin, but with the 2 over the side, you gotta like where he's at.
Right.
Now here, of course, you're not gonna blast it and rail first.
Gậy
ball
càng
is
đắt tiền,
pretty
gậy càng đắt
close.
tiền thì bước vào câu lạc bộ thì càng hay hơn thôi.
I wouldn't get cute with this, trying to, hit a particular gap.
Đánh hay không thì cũng chưa biết, nhưng mà tuy nhiên thì với một chiếc gậy đắt tiền thì với những công nghệ và với chất lượng sản xuất thì chắc chắn là
A little worried. I would have
nó
maybe
sẽ là
tried to
tốt
get
hơn
outside
cho các cầu thủ rồi. Đây rồi, có tình huống rồi.
because no jump cues here
Right.
in the 10 ball.
Lựa chọn có lẽ là Marse. Con này mà nhảy bằng gậy phá thì trông hơi đau đầu đấy.
Not that these guys luck balls in.
Con này vẫn lỗ to lắm.
Comes up and somebody wonders.
Vẫn có thể đẩy được, vẫn có thể đẩy được.
He's got choices here. I don't mind drawing out for the corner myself by the 9 or going for the 3 in the side, but I'll tell you, go ahead, Mark.
If you don't get the 3 in the
Rồi,
side,
ngon luôn.
it get awkward. If you run past
Lừa
it,
lỗ điều được 3.
Yeah, and
xử lý
he did
tốt
real
đến
well
từ
there, rolling it.
Kazakit.
I mean, just taking on the shot.
Chào bạn Tuấn Cỏ nhá.
I'm gonna make sure the roll doesn't get away from me. Let me draw over there.
Yeah.
So
Vâng,
just,
cái bảng tỷ số thì
making sure the shot's in his
bên ban tổ chức họ sẽ bật lên, thỉnh thoảng họ sẽ bật lên ở góc trên bên trái nhá. Tỷ số đang là
He fell a little bit short there of ideal.
3-1.
should be able
Kazakit dẫn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he just wanted to take a moment to clear his head. He was anticipating a slightly different position here. He can hold this.
Filler sẽ đánh vào lúc 1 giờ sáng ngay. Tuy nhiên thì nó sẽ trùng giờ với trận của Dương Quốc Hoàng nhé. Cho nên là chúng ta sẽ để cái trận của Filler để ngày mai phát lại nha.
I don't know what it is, Mark. I hit a few balls on this table last night. Just late, just after watching all day. You know how it is. And
4 bi.
felt really good on it. I don't know if it's something mentally, because I've always felt good on the 10-footer, but to me, it makes me never baby a ball. It makes me make more of a thorough stroke. It's almost like my brain knows it's needed more.
Kazakit ở giải US Open phải nói là có một cái màn thi đấu rất tốt.
It's been impeccable.
Anh đã cố gắng vượt qua rất nhiều đối thủ, trong đó bao gồm cả Shane Warmoning.
Straight backswing. I always marveled at his shot making.
Động lực của Kazakit thì nó không chỉ là
Contributes to hitting.
chức vô địch US Open mà nó còn là một vị trí để đi Mosconi năm nay nữa.
This would stun across.
Tuy nhiên thì anh không thành công.
Full shot up the rail is a little more
Slot
demanding.
thứ 3 đi Mosconi vẫn thuộc về
Well, he loves that
Alvin Ocean.
to begin with. You
Yeah,
see him pull the
yeah.
ball a little bit more than some of the other players. There he came across.
Yeah, like Buddy Hall, he really loved that shot. It was exceptional. I
Tôi
don't
chả
know
rõ
if
là
it's
Denis Sogolo cùng với Anton Raga đánh bao giờ.
Chang has got his hand.
Thế đây tôi sẽ cố gắng thu thập thông tin và cập nhật lên fanpage Lão Mõ nha. Nên anh em hãy bấm like, follow fanpage để không bỏ lỡ những thông tin mới nhất về
I'm sorry.
bia trên thế giới.
Played perfect when he's gotten a shot,
Yeah.
and Alex has played even more.
4-1. Trang Dung Linh khỏe, Kazakit cũng khỏe.
Koch rolling here early. John Francisco 4-0 at the table. Michael Yednick in action.
Tuy nhiên thì ở giải đấu này
Anybody that Christina draws
ghi nhận sự góp mặt của Federgos
normally puts up with on a daily basis, right?
với cái nội dung 10 bi trên bàn Bigfoot này. Lần
That being
gần đây nhất nó diễn ra đó chính là ở giải Derby City Classic
Oh, they probably
vào đầu năm.
some together, but
Thì
I think they're a lot like a lot of
Federgos
players.
đã xuất sắc đánh bại Joshua Filler ở trận chung kết và vô địch với nội dung 10 bi bàn trên bàn Bigfoot này.
Feel like I'm playing by myself. Now, I might spar occasionally with someone.
Giải tổ chức ở Mỹ nhá,
I really wanted to get it.
Virginia,
Kind of where I was just playing it.
một bang nằm ở miền Trung nước Mỹ,
Uh-oh.
gần với biển sát với biển Đại Tây Dương.
There, no pop on the cue ball, really.
and that's just a smidgen off the head ball. It doesn't.
Rồi, cú phá chết cái ở Trang Dung Linh. Tuy nhiên thì có tình huống bi số 3, bi số 9.
You just can't imagine that it's that simple.
Đánh xuyên màn đêm nhé bạn Dũng Phạm nhé.
Just wants to go to the side pocket.
Anh kiến nghị tình huống ban tổ chức thực ra là với cái tình huống đó ấy, thì nó đã xảy ra rồi và trận thi đấu cũng kết thúc rồi.
Can set up an angle on the two to draw.
Kết quả là phần thắng thuộc về Lương Đức Thiện thì chúng ta cũng không nên nói gì quá nhiều.
Come in
Xong rồi.
3-9.
Pha đó thì tôi cũng đã có trao đổi lại với Pat Fleming là trưởng ban tổ chức, thì bác ấy cũng có nói là con bi đó thì chính xác là
You should have a
Donny Mills đã thực hiện một pha bắn lỗi.
almost perfect.
Nhưng tuy nhiên thì đấy là cũng do kinh nghiệm của các cầu thủ Việt Nam
You can pop
đi thi đấu quốc tế chưa nhiều. Đúng ra những cái tình huống nhạy cảm như thế là chúng ta sẽ phải chủ động gọi ngay trọng tài
Yeah, and you may hit a
để
little further up the rail just
trọng
because
tài
you
ra
need
quan
that
sát
spin.
pha bắn đó.
So you don't have to go quite as deep,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you don't want the cue ball too high.
No, you can't blast her. It'll
Like
go
a
too
bump,
short.
like a foot away is what you want the three to go, like that kind of speed. Oh, he punched it. He didn't.
Và là một đường gỡ
Unfortunate.
không thành công rồi.
Yeah,
He could have really gotten in trouble there.
that was the first time he kind of got quick with the swing, and he knows as well as we do that a little fortune there. That kind of breakout, you want the cue ball coming in, not super slow, but definitely not hot.
Right. it doesn't hit the 10 ball so solidly, he'd have a much harder time defending himself from here.
Yeah, he could have got snookered, maybe. Coming just roaming above the 8. Caught the
Okay, and that's where he did not need the right-hand side spin. That's what opened it up. He should have gone flat ball there. I was looking at when he was queuing up, I was thinking, boy, that might expand too much, and it sure did.
Yeah, when you're close to it like that, you can also hit a nip draw to make it kind of lengthen a little bit off that first rail.
Yeah, but you didn't need to lengthen. That's what was the problem. Nice return there.
Needs to go. You may see him play the 9 here.
Or the 4. If he's
Yeah.
got enough of it.
I don't think he can get to the good side of the 3. He could cut the 3. Probably uses the 9 to slow the cue ball down and bumps the
Có
3
tình huống.
on the 10 and 5 and all that. But the beard on the 9 is land pretty good if you're really short on shot selection.
Mm-hmm. But it's a long way from the pocket and does require a super hit, and there's no certainty you're getting a shot.
No, for sure, but you should cut it a little. And the 3, they should both come up a little bit. Hate to leave Efren that shot. He's so good at those kiss shots right there. So he's looking at bumping the 3 now. This is the thing.
Muốn sượt mỏng con bi số 3.
Ball.
Cái vào đầu 9 đứng ở dưới, móc con 3 lên trên à?
Easy to lose speed on the object ball, like hit it too light. It just is for some reason. That's the tendency on the mistake. Oh, you got a lot of that. Needs a little roll. Put the 3
Không thành
perfect,
công.
just caught the 9
Nguyên mặt bi số 3 rồi.
hold the rock.
Trang Dung Linh có thể chém mỏng để cộng 3-4 trang.
Entire 3 ball. So he can certainly kiss
Mất đường cân 3 rồi, nhưng con bi số 9 đã lăn về
go the
phía
rail,
lỗ
just
góc
chop
dưới
it,
bên trái.
chop it, and the cue ball should run off the 4. Maybe, around for position on
Cái khoảng thời gian
The 4 is not just
từ
making
cuối tháng
super
9, đầu tháng 10 cho đến hết tháng 11 thì bên Mỹ phải gọi là đại hội giải luôn.
just because of that hanging ball, right?
Chạy vẫn lòi rồi.
Look and mark. The backside rail first shot on the 3's probably there with a lot of cover. So that to me that was not a bad decision, but it just surprised me a
Trang
little.
Linh có một pha thủ lại không
Real
tốt.
secure getting behind the 6, that's one thing. But if there's any kind of worry, I think he's maybe left the door open a little.
Trận này chạm 11 anh em nhé.
And the
Phá luân phiên chạm 11.
effect in his speed judgment there too, because he did not want to overrun it and dunk into the corner pocket back there.
Yeah, most of the time those types of shots are sitting so nice, right? They're sitting great.
Cộng
The guy
không thành công.
mark. But every now and again they get kind of awkward.
Có đuôi 3 không?
He hit that really well. I thought it was going to go.
Trông giống là đuôi 3.
Now, does he have to swerve this?
À, nguyên đường. Từ góc quay này nguyên rồi.
He's trying to pinch it out one rail. Oh, he could get the entire ball.
Hết giải này thì là hết rồi anh em nhé. Hết giải này thì còn một cái giải đấu ở Puerto Rico nữa, giải 10 bi, nhưng mà tuy nhiên thì theo như tôi được biết, Lương Đức Thiện và Dương Quốc Hoàng sẽ rời Mỹ sau giải thi đấu này.
Now the 8 ball is going to
Ôi trời, sang bên đấy gì cứ bắt nhìn thấy Alex Pagulean này, thấy Jeffrey De Luna này, thấy Roberto Gomez này vào việc phát, huýt sáo phát là lên xe ngay.
He'll shoot more of that kind of shot with that throw, kind of rolling ball. I do that a lot. I like that kind of shot. He'll do
Cảm ơn
it also
Andy Nguyễn nhé.
from some distance instead of some players they'll stun the ball back and forth like side rail.
Cảm ơn bạn đã gửi tặng kênh là mọ sao.
Stroke. This may bump the 8 ahead.
À,
This could get awkward.
đây là phát trực tiếp nhá, không phải phát lại đâu.
Okay, a couple different safeties here if you like them. It looks like to me he can shoot straight through on the 8 and roll underneath the 9 with the cue ball. It's a kind of a one pocket shot, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Just go straight underneath the 9.
Rồi, vẫn khó,
Center of the table. You got a lot of defense there.
vẫn khó.
Even if you leave him
Chém mỏng con đi số
short,
8 thì trông giống là mất đường với con đi số 10 rồi, hay là Carom 8-10 chăng?
Yeah, he might want something. He might go combination and billiard on the ticky underneath the 9 with the 8. I think if the 9 was a little closer, that would be a consideration. But I think he's going to play both ways.
Hay là cộng 89
Even straight shooting because
hay là chạy cái sau đít 10.
no matter where the cue ball's at, if you can see it.
Rồi. Vậy là cộng 89. Cú cộng thành công.
If I was going to go offensive, I would just bear down on the combo.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
Tổng giải thưởng của Mosconi nó là 250.000 hay là 225.000 cho đội thắng. Tôi không nhớ chính xác đâu, nhưng mà đại loại nó là trên 200.000.
Or any of us to do that. Uh-oh.
Chết cái.
Careful here. This could be big problems. So far, still playing great.
Ui. Cày tê nhờ.
No real grimace or anything. You see, he's mentally with it.
5-1
For sure.
cho Kazakit.
Got to be happy the way he hit it, though, right? That was real flat,
Yeah.
and he got a lot out of it. I think he got a little more than he expected, to be honest.
Yeah, 5-1 Kazakas.
Cú lê con bi số 8 con bi cái vào chấm 1 băng dài là nhìn thấy là hỏng rồi.
Wasn't an easy position play, so most interesting.
Nhìn thấy góc ra con cái và chấm 1 băng dài là thấy hỏng rồi.
Yesterday lost to one of my former Windowwood national champion, Sharik Syed. You also have Chris Reinhold in the field out here. He won the national championship at Lindenwood as well.
Yeah, he made a heck of a comeback in that match to lose Hill to BJ Osiri yesterday. BJ played really well to start. Looked like they both played well at the end. But I think Chris was down 5-0 before he got on the board.
But hardly had a shot.
Yeah, didn't
Chết rồi.
Ran like the first
Bị
four.
dẫn gần nửa đường rồi.
But yeah, he never really got a look. It looked like.
Trang Dung Linh.
And that's what he said. So he said he had a couple errors he wanted
Anh
back.
tặng không một ván thi đấu cho Kazakit luôn.
All right, the break has really set the tone
5-1.
for Kazakhstan, and then he's followed it up. A little off.
Đấy.
Nothing more.
Thế là vừa được ăn được một ván có con 10 thì Kazakit có một pha phá vâng ạ. Vào áp phê
And when I have an opponent,
hơi mỏng một chút vào con bi số 1 và con bi cái cuộn ở lỗ giữa luôn.
but when I do, oh man, that's the last
Quyền đặt đi cho Trang Dung Linh.
thing that irks me to give
Yeah.
him ball in hand.
Yeah. Let them get a little momentum, a little
Yeah.
comfort, and a little.
It's like they wipe everything away. It's
Yeah.
just like, so a lot of times, you know, here he's not moving it much, but he set up that line to get perfect here on the 3. And you'll do that with dead straight on the ball with draw a lot of times to where your line's going to be good. You know, as you come back, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to be real good most of the way.
Prior to this match, Jeremy and I were talking, and he was commenting that in March he saw J.L. Chang out in Las Vegas, and it appeared
Động
to
tác rất nhanh gọn luôn.
accommodate playing Chinese 8-ball.
Bi cái dừng ở đầu phát là đặt gậy bắn luôn.
Also, I didn't see it, but
Chả phải ngó nghiêng gì nhiều.
this is the pool stroke of Chang that I remember.
Yeah, I agree. And I just
Lỗi
watched
mà
him
bi số
go
6
up
rồi mình ơi.
just 'cause he's, a few years ago we all
Con này đánh nhường 3 băng ra trông giống là không va vào đầu 10 đâu ạ.
do a little more here, but yeah, I was watching him and I've watched him so much. I'm like, man, he looks a lot different, a lot more punchy, a little shorter through impact.
Nào, cú đánh 3 băng tốt của Trang Dung Linh.
I asked his interpreter, actually a guy from one of the guys from Houston, and another guy's from China, I believe.
3 bi nữa.
He said, yeah, he's during pandemic, couldn't go anywhere, had to start playing Chinese 8-ball. So made a conscious decision to change a little bit. And I think he's made that conscious decision to change back. Well, this is how you come back off a
Sa.
deficit, a nice out with ball in hand.
2-5.
He gets to break the balls in the next game.
Con này thì không bị lỗi gì nữa rồi.
Yeah, Christina Takash, 6-0 front. Wow.
Và sau trận thi đấu này thì anh em hãy đừng đi ngủ vội nhá. Chúng ta hãy cùng đồng hành với nhau để cổ vũ Dương Quốc Hoàng.
He didn't get many
Anh sẽ có một trận thi đấu ở nhánh thua vào lúc 1 giờ sáng ngày hôm nay.
little chances. Played real well against Shaw yesterday.
Tiếp theo đó là lúc 5 giờ sáng sẽ là trận thi đấu của Nguyễn Phúc Long và Eklan Keiichi. 9 giờ sáng sẽ là Lương Đức Thiện và Roland Garcia.
This is just a heck of an
Nhánh của Thiện Lương, nếu như mà Thiện Lương chiến thắng ở trong trận thi đấu sáng ngày mai với Roland Garcia thì có khả năng rất cao là anh ấy sẽ gặp Jaden Shaw. Anh đang cùng nhánh với Jaden Shaw.
great restaurants. Very
Khét lẹt luôn.
The only thing I could have with
Phúc Long thì sẽ gặp Mieszko Fortunski hoặc là Painter Macbridge.
the rest of it's all good. Great seafood.
Yeah, I need to. I haven't gotten out and gotten any seafood. That's not really my favorite, really. I have before. Get to the beach. Now he's a little upset. The 2-5 tied up, but he does have an angle to go in.
Cú phá có trên 1 bi. Có đường riêng bi số 1.
The six is kind of
Pha này phải gỡ tình huống 2 thôi.
the upper corner.
Hai giải khác nhau, hai nội dung khác nhau nhé.
Pocket as the one.
Cùng một giải nhưng mà hai nội dung khác nhau.
You might like to bump the five.
Đây là nội dung
to push the
10 bi trên bàn Bigfoot.
Absolutely, yeah.
Còn các cầu thủ Việt Nam chúng ta thi đấu nội dung 9 bi.
five would be your target.
Yeah, you may end up on top of the two ball if you catch it a little full. You may just be ducking on it afterwards. I don't know. Hard to
Thầy Long dạo gần đây hơi bị nhiều duyên nợ với
Nice
Keiichi đấy.
decision. He didn't execute it perfect.
Đâu rồi?
Yeah.
Hai ra sao? Trông giống là
Yeah.
He's just gonna be
Không.
away from the three quite a bit.
tôi không nghĩ là có má chém con bi số 2 này rồi.
Good thing for Chang.
Con này chỉ có má chạm mà thôi.
Man,
Yeah, it's a lot to do.
a high ball to me looks.
Giải này là giải mời cho nên là Việt Nam sẽ không có ai được mời cả.
He might not be
He went,
shooting at it.
he went safe.
Yeah.
Chỉ có 16 cơ thủ top đầu thế giới nhận được lời mời mà thôi. Rồi,
It's a better
cú
decision.
chạy bi đưa cái và bi số 2 ra hai đầu nỗi nhớ.
Anybody start if you want to have the advantage tactically.
Yeah, and you know that's five.
Pha đó gỡ hình 2 thì cũng dở hơi luôn.
A lot of discipline.
Con bi số 6 đang nằm gần băng giải. Khả năng vẫn ra mất đường ăn 2. Trang Linh quyết định là điều đường riêng 2, nhưng mà tuy nhiên thì pha bắn cúp của Trang thiếu lực.
Those of you that anticipate playing in an event of this magnitude, you could practice from here, end rail to end rail, because 2/3 of your innings will start here when you play pro pool.
Giải này thì không có Shane Van Moening. Shane đã rút khỏi giải đấu trước khi giải đấu bắt đầu ít ngày thôi. Chắc bận đi câu cá. Rồi.
Boy, oh boy.
He
Yeah.
thought really he was worried about the cue ball going that
Đường chạy
second rail.
suýt chút nữa thì
Mm-hmm.
cái đuôi sau 3 rồi.
Sooner, I think, than he anticipated.
Yeah,
Nhưng chưa.
for sure.
Trang Dung vẫn còn nguyên mặt con bi số 2.
He's emphasizing the cue ball.
Easy to scratch on this one if you let up a little. Nice shot. And what happens is, and what I mean by that,
Gì đây? Vâng ạ. May mà vẫn còn má.
usually lose your tip position a hair. And
May mà vẫn còn má.
realizes that tip position in that stroke, it draws that ball, but it also draws it slowly across because it digs on it a little bit.
Hoàng Sao sẽ gặp một cầu thủ tên là Greg Howell nhé.
Believe it or not. Wow, what a stroke.
That was. He got a lot out of a pretty flat angle there.
Yeah, hit the pocket really clean. And these
Chẳng
kind
bắt
of
đầu là vào tay rồi đấy.
That's what most players, self included, you got to remind yourself that, you know, normally most matches, especially
Rồi, những tình huống khó nhất thì Trang Dung Liên đã xử lý xong rồi.
you're going to get your chances. You got to hang in there, right? Alex started off getting all the shots, a couple dry breaks from Chang. Alex playing perfect.
Well, and you called it too. You said 3-0 behind. It's no problem. He's been here many, many times, and he just digs in and takes advantage of his opportunities. If the guy just plays and runs away and takes it, there's no harm. I mean, that's what can you do? Shake the guy's hand. But you don't see ego defense. You don't see him flipping his wrist or displaying displeasure.
You know, changing his shot.
Mượt luôn.
selection, you You know,
Right.
he's really what's in front
Vâng,
of
cô
him.
Pinji có tham dự nhá.
So great.
Cả ba anh em nhà cô đều tham dự International Open.
Safety here is what's won this game for him,
Right.
and may extend beyond that.
Một điểm nữa Trang Dung Linh. Ba năm.
Looks like Eric Roberts has won 4 in a row. He was down 3-0 to Robbie Capito, two young, great players. Of course, Robbie a little more accomplished
Ồ, thằng cò này vớ vẩn mà
than Eric.
trận này quá 1 giờ là hơi bị nguy đấy.
Where does he come from?
He's Filipino heritage, but was pretty raised in Chinese Hong Kong. So plays for Hong Kong. Oh, John Francisco, just easy 9 ball, just a little maybe lack of focus.
Yeah, Max Heat.
Yeah, Robbie, really talented player.
You ever been to Hong Kong?
I think I was in the airport there once, but I wouldn't say really been there.
Most interesting place.
Cảm ơn bạn Thành Nguyễn đã gửi tặng cái long bóng 15 sao nhá. Đêm nay 1 giờ Dương Quốc Hoàng sẽ đánh một trận ở trên nhánh thua nhá.
Didn't get one down, but not the hit he had early in the match.
Not at all.
5 giờ sẽ là Nguyễn Phúc Long.
Wild.
9 giờ
Looked a
sẽ là
little
Lương Đức Thiện.
transition.
Yeah, completely agree.
Okay, if you're feeling good, you can kind of hit right English on this and kind of bleed the cue ball behind the 7. The one hopefully goes a little atop the 5 ball. You just got to have a good touch.
Cú phá
with
kiểm
it.
soát bi cái chưa được tốt
Wouldn't be
của
surprised if he passes on that.
Kazakit rồi.
And Jeremy saying maybe
Chết rồi,
filter
mấy
the
ngày này lại bị
ball
ho.
right on top of the 5 or right
Nguy
next
thật.
to the 5. Just try to put the cue ball for behind the 7.
Yeah, it's not the most natural angle. You would
Cái đấy
rather
tôi không rõ đâu bạn Hữu Hoàng.
the cue ball be a little more to the left, where you just kind of split the balls, you know, and use
Yeah.
a little right English to throw the one over. This one's a little more delicate, but that's where I would try to go. I think you have to attack on the
Chạy
safety.
cái 2 băng 6 7.
You have to try and get that snooker.
No interest at all in pushing out, apparently.
Yeah. I caught it too thick. And the thing about Alex, he didn't want to
Bàn nó là to.
still required right speed.
Đổ thiếu xăng mà.
One to really throw, you know, over there above the
Cú thủ bi hơi ú òa của Kazakit.
shoot at this, huh, Mark?
Yeah, because
Một
if
côn
he
băng.
shoot- if the 4 ball wasn't there, he would cut this in. Well, it's the same exact hit here to make this combination.
Pha này cộng
Yeah, the
1
only
4.
thing that scares me a little
Ăn được 4. Đen nhất thì con 3, con 1 dính vào con bi số 3 và mất đường riêng.
you can't just roll it, 'cause the 8 and the 2 and the 2.
Trang Dung Linh sẽ xử lý như thế nào đây?
So this requires a little speed, I think.
Nhưng mà cộng thoát tay ra luôn và lừa lỗ một chút. Không thành công rồi.
Yeah, and it was, I wouldn't say a hanger, but if he gets to hit that with just a high ball, really like his chances of pocketing that combo.
Right.
Cú cộng bi vừa rồi không phải là thuận lợi một chút nào.
One of the most commonly
Khi mà
underrated shots right there.
Trang phải đối mặt với con bi số 1 côn băng dài.
Even for
Con
some
4 nhưng không
reason,
côn.
even when they're righty,
Nhưng cũng
not
gần như là
seeing it
côn.
all the
Rất
time.
khó
For
để có
some
thể
reason, feel like they should hardly
điều được con bi số 1 sau pha cộng bi.
that underhit seems to happen
Kazakit
more in
lại
that
tiếp tục
situation.
một pha thủ bi ú òa nữa.
Really square there, hit on the
Đây rồi.
almost left him a
Pha thủ lại này của Trang có lẽ là đuôi Trang.
the top rail. Just because you're kind of facing it,
Đuôi rồi.
you know, you kind of see it real well. You're going right in front of you. And you're kicking towards congestion with the 1 and the cue ball.
I think Kazakis thinks he can jump the edge of the 2 enough here with his playing cue. I know he's leveling out.
Yeah.
He must have enough of this to either play thin safety or he can pocket the ball.
Oh, I think he's kicking, right? No? thought he was kicking. Yeah,
Oh, you're right.
yeah. Ooh, he slivered it. Slivered
Hình
it.
như con bi số 1
Yeah, he
đã lăn.
won.
Hình như con bi số 1 đã lăn. Vâng ạ, trọng tài có lẽ là không quan sát kỹ rồi, ra bắt lỗi không chạm bi. Tuy nhiên thì cá nhân tôi nhận định là con bi số 1 vừa rồi hơi rung một chút. Vâng ạ, một pha bằng hợp lệ của Kazakit. Dính, dính. Rồi, đùi rũi luôn.
Pays to hit him, Mark.
It does. Yeah, Jerry Bryce used to say that. Things can happen.
Jerry Bryce getting
Tỷ số là 5-3 cho Kazakit nhé.
Friday evening.
Ban tổ chức họ có cái bảng tỷ số ở góc trên bên trái màn hình ấy, nhưng mà tuy nhiên thì lúc họ bật lúc họ tắt. Nên anh em lại xem thỉnh thoảng người ta cuối ván thi đấu và đầu ván thi đấu họ sẽ bật lên ạ.
Hour and a half later, he's given somebody else a love with the same level of exuberance and enthusiasm. I mean,
Vâng ạ, chết một luôn. Chết một đến từ vị trí của Kazakit.
All ball fouls though. Or no, the 10 ball isn't all ball fouls, excuse me. I don't think it is. It's cue ball fouls. Oh, it is?
yeah, I think everything is all ball fouls.
Oh, one of the players told me last night.
Ai cũng hay,
One of the players last night in the
càng chơi càng hay.
that it was only cue ball fouls in the 10 ball, but could be wrong. Because I thought it was all ball fouls as well. And I brought that up and they said no.
Rồi xong.
But then one of the referees had it wrong. Anyway,
Con bi số 2 đường xa rất chính xác. Và Kazakit đang khá thuận lợi với má bi số 3 này rồi. Con bi số 8 không biết là còn đường riêng vào lỗ góc dưới bên phải hay không.
And Roland Garcia are the ones that told me it's not all ball foul. All right, he would love to have gotten a little more out of that. A little stretch. The 8's a problem, right? I don't think it goes by the 10. A little off-angle combo for sure.
Sáng ngày hôm nay thì Thiện Lương cũng có một pha highlight. Anh ấy A một băng gót chết con bi số 5 vào lỗ giữa bên trái. Đánh cho đối thủ hiểu luôn.
let's get back out to the center of the table here.
Yeah, Dennis Orculo will also be inducted Friday.
We are informed that it is all ball fouls.
5 bi nữa.
As it should be.
Lấy một cái bóng để thực hiện một pha rút êm.
Nice shot there. It's another shot you should practice.
Rồi, 8 trông giống là có vấn đề rồi.
Rails inside the side under pressure seems to come up in big moments a lot. And it's easy to just get a little too much on it, go off on the side, or even the other, let up a hair because you're worried about the side.
Tính má cộng 8-10.
Eric Roberts over there fighting.
To try to pinch drag this down to get the short side on the
No, I
eight.
think just the combo.
Oh,
I mean, the combo's not terrible. It is off angle, and you will be stretched big time.
Chưa thuận lắm rồi.
this is imminently missable. now.
Con bi cái phải xuống càng sâu càng tốt. Cú cộng nó sẽ
Up on the
dễ hơn rất nhiều.
onto the 10, that's too thin. I think he's either got to shave his right side of the 8 coming to the bottom rail with the cue ball if he plays safe. I would shoot the combination, I think.
Chạy. Quyết định rất hợp lý.
I don't know if I would have shot or not.
Nhưng mà không biết là ui vẫn còn nguyên đường A một băng này. Vẫn còn nguyên đường A gót chết được con 8 luôn này.
I think working for Alex here is the 9. I think Chang makes this. He doesn't have to, of course. And he's gonna put
Con này sẽ phải A 2 băng thôi.
gain position, so that could lose accuracy.
Lên còn lấy má ăn 9 nữa. 9 đang nằm ở băng ngắn phía trên. Đó, qua hai bằng tốt của
You're right. I think
Trang Dung Linh.
for him with the nines on the far end table.
Lực lớn để kéo lên, tuy nhiên thì lại va đầu 10.
How you feeling, you know? If you're feeling good,
Lại khó.
10 foot. You can play off the left side of the nine, get it out in space a little
Vâng,
bit.
pha đấy A thì chính xác là va đầu 10 rồi, nhưng mà có lẽ là
Spin it, right?
vẫn còn một
Two rails
tí ly nào đấy va má mỏng chẳng hạn. Con cái văng sang băng dài bên trái
you can lay the cue
thì vẫn có thể chém mỏng ví dụ 9, nhưng không.
Otherwise, you just bank the nine back up to the middle of the end rail and just kind of see what Alex wants to do from there.
You sort of hate to force your opponent to make a great shot on you because they don't have a choice, so they have the freedom to just attack.
Is he edging this on the right? Wow. He's taking a long time aiming. That makes me think he's edging that ball.
Siêu mỏng cánh.
Pass that one up.
Mà siêu mỏng cánh này lòi mất rồi.
This is a little
Good
more.
job.
Yeah, this is the 10 goes in the side.
Đó. Đúng ý đồ đưa được con cái ra sát băng. Tuy nhiên thì vẫn sẽ có ly chém mỏng bi số 9.
With more speed, more throw, get the nine up, out in the center of the table more, right? Let it come two rails, come to the end rail and freeze him, and just see if he can come with it from the end rail when the nine.
Cảm ơn bạn Đinh Phú gửi tặng kênh Long có phải làm sao nha.
Tough shot here.
And it leads towards that corner he's standing if he puts right English.
Good shot.
Rồi sao?
Really nice.
Yeah. He was taking
Cú
as
chém tốt của Kazakit.
accuracy into the shot as he possibly could get, so he eliminated the side spin that might have helped position wise.
Giải đấu là bấm giờ, nhưng tuy nhiên thì vẫn sẽ có quyền gọi thêm giờ nhé.
I don't think he wants to dead roll this, but maybe.
6-3.
Nice shot there. Two good
Kazakit
shots.
vẫn duy trì được lợi thế dẫn trước 3 ván.
That was a hard fought rack there. You can't fault Chang. He was in a bad spot. He was 8 feet away from that
Kakaking Bilas,
ball.
thương hiệu bàn bia tốt nhất Việt Nam.
Trying to play thin it, play safe, caught it. You know, just hit it a fragment heavy. That's where it goes. And when I
Yeah.
say a fragment, I'm talking
Trận thi
about
đấu giữa hai cầu thủ Alexander Kazakis và Trang Dung Linh được phát sóng trên nền tảng của Lão Mao Spotlight.
really super thin. You can just trickle it over.
Có sự đồng hành của nhà tài trợ Kakaking Bilas.
Yeah,
Kakaking
he's
Bilas
really good at
là đơn vị có kinh nghiệm hơn 30 năm trong việc sản xuất, lắp ráp và cung cấp bàn bia nhãn hiệu Kakaking tại thị trường Việt Nam. Xin được cảm ơn nhà tài trợ Kakaking Bilas đã đồng hành cùng chúng tôi trong quá trình phát sóng những giải đấu hay nhất để phục vụ anh em yêu bia.
Alex was
Và chúng ta sẽ đến với ván thi đấu thứ 10. Trang Dung Linh phá bi.
I still consider Alex in his
I do too, but I'm just saying.
Cái
Like,
nội dung 10 bi bàn Bigfoot này
he's not out of the. You know,
ai cũng ghê cả.
I don't know if he's playing.
Top 16 thế giới mà.
Did prior rotation.
Rồi,
He's right there.
trời ơi, con cái đứng đúng giữa bàn luôn.
Not out of his prime age-wise. Look at this.
Con bi cái đứng đúng giữa bàn.
This is a tall task here.
Nhưng
I really
một
think
trong giống không có đường riêng.
part that he's disappointed about. He absolutely snugged the cue.
Chưa kể là còn bị cò tay nữa.
Here comes the three and lands right against it where it makes
Trang push out rồi.
it tough to be accurate.
He's not even thinking about it.
Can't fault him, but
Lì luôn.
he's trying to tempt him, but I think he
Không phải cố làm gì.
shoot the one ball back to the eight. Unless they can try to get it thin to the left and drop it down to the same end rail it's laying
Cảm ơn bạn Toàn Hiền nhá. Bàn Bigfoot này to hơn so với bàn thi đấu thông thường nhé. Dài hơn khoảng 25 cm, rộng hơn khoảng 17-18 cm rồi đấy.
We'll see. He's putting a little right English as well, so he may be going at this actually. You wouldn't think so, but maybe. No, he's playing safe and he's whiffing.
Vâng ạ.
Whiffed it.
Pha vẩy áp phê đầu gậy của Kazakit.
Didn't hit the 10. Played
Tặng luôn con bi cái cho Trang Du Linh.
He's going to follow down the 2-6 combo. See how he plays this. If he just goes straight down, if he wants to use the side rail right before the side, I think he just goes straight down. But some guys will want the comfort just catching that side rail right before the side. You know, just kind of go like going to the rail on all those shots. You just feel like your speed's a little better, but this looks really nice.
Yeah.
Đẩy xuống tiếp tục phạt cộng B26.
Now, depending on how you pocket this, there is a possibility you don't get the ideal shot on the two, but a great likelihood that you will.
It's a little awkward.
But you can
I
for
like
sure
it.
defend yourself.
Well, I like what he's doing here. He's putting follow on the two. That way, if he hits it a little off, you see how it just goes ahead and rolls, right?
Ngon rồi.
If you roll the ball there,
Hình đã mở.
the six a little off, the two lays on the side rail, and everything gets very awkward. So he recognized he could pinch the ball and also put a little overspin on the two ball. So
5 bi nữa.
he probably wants to fall straight on the seven. So a little angle on the four to come across. Should get a little bounce off the top rail here. Doesn't have to, but it looks like he's going to pinch it. Perfect angle. Corey Deuel up 9-2. Cruising. Donnie Mills 110-0. Christina Tkach up 9-0. Shane Wolford up 5-3. Eric Robertson.
Ai.
5-4 now.
Khó rồi.
Looks like Chris Ryan holds up 6-3.
Nhảy với là cái chắc rồi. Trang Dung Linh sẽ dừng nối. Cả mắc phê không cẩn thận là xòe ngay sang phía bên trái luôn. Cú cắm trâu tốt của Trang Dung Linh.
This shot here he's so good at. I know it's just a simple shot, but just drawn to the rail and back. May hold it, I don't know, but I think he comes to the rail. Just never gets out of line with it.
Sao? Một con bi số 10 nữa thôi. Ôi, nhìn ông bác ngồi bên kia đang ăn hamburger, nhìn trong thèm đấy nhỉ? Tự nhiên lại thấy đói đấy.
And we'll see. That was a big error. Fan
Nửa đêm của anh em mà đói không?
ball after the rollout there.
Tỷ số là 4-6.
But you can't lay
Trang
it
Dung
down
Linh vẫn bị
like
dẫn 2 ván.
it's happening.
No, I agree.
Right,
He's supposed to
so-
take it on. I just didn't expect that type of error there. So we'll see how it plays out. Alex can recoup.
And that, you know, what you said, you have to
Trận
attack.
Filler sẽ phát lại vào trưa ngày mai nhá. Chắc là khoảng 1 rưỡi.
Just bank it down by the
Tôi nghĩ là khoảng 1 rưỡi 2 giờ gì đó.
make him, you're not going to hook him, but
Trận Filler vào lúc 1 giờ sáng thì đã trùng với giờ của trận Dương Quốc Hoàng rồi.
do something extra. He paid the price, but it also could have been very successful for him. So it's one of those risk and reward analysis deals.
Yeah, I don't mind the shot selection at all. I rarely ever pass on a rollout. I like taking them.
Chào bạn Hoàng Duy Anh nhá.
It is a little risky at times, but all right, let's see if we can get that break back. That was
You
better.
see the cue ball come back like that, you know.
Well, I just watched the backswing. Once that started, the backswing looked pretty clean.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like
Yeah.
he was going to be okay.
Tỷ số đang là
A few little safety
6-4 cho Kazakhstan nhé.
behind the nine where the ball froze or close to froze. Now here, you can't really run the cue ball too because of the 2 and the 3. So this is difficult.
Không
So,
có đâu các bạn nhé.
you know, 3 in there, the 2.
Nó để sáng mai xem lại đi.
put
À
the
để
one
trưa mai
above
xem lại đi.
line, right? And run the cue ball and just dare chain to shoot a long distance.
Nếu mà so sánh vị trí ở trên bảng xếp hạng thế giới bây giờ thì rõ ràng là Kazakhstan có vị trí tốt hơn.
Gotta play a nice
Trang Dung Linh thì mấy anh em Đài Loan mấy năm nay có đi đánh giải thế giới đâu, tích điểm cao hơn được.
Boy, oh boy, what a shot.
Nhờn với chúng tôi. Cú thủ bí tốt của Kazakit.
Has taken on the tough safety as well.
Chào bạn
because
Tường
that's
coi
what
nhá.
you need to win these matches against these guys.
He knew with that speed that one ball's never getting down table, so
Right.
he's just relying on his cue ball, and he did a great job with it.
Con bí cái nó vẫn chưa dính vào 9, nó vẫn còn đường A một băng.
Maybe the one below the 10, something like that. Yeah. He just always hits the right side, it seems like.
Good return.
Quả băng hợp lệ của Trang Dung Linh.
Speed.
Yeah. And that is one thing the guys
Mặt
practice
con bí số
for
9
is
vẫn
out
còn
in the
đây.
room is- And I did hours of it. I mean, I would just throw a couple balls out there and kick at them.
Xin lỗi, con bí số 1 chứ.
It makes a
Nghếu thật.
huge difference. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not
Pivotal
glamorous
games,
practice.
right?
Yeah, it's not glamorous practice. It doesn't have the reward that
Chờ làm sao thì phát kênh này luôn nhá.
but it's winning pool, especially at this level. You're going to have to be adept at that.
and it's amazing how good you can get at it, believe it or not. In tune with what's going on with the table. All right, could have used a
Đi
little
đâu?
there to help the cue.
Lòi mất rồi.
I don't know if he gave up a shot here or not. Mark was close.
Lòi nguyên đường luôn.
I think he did.
Thôi Hùng ơi tha anh. Anh bỏ bia rồi mà.
This is where he kind of drags it a hair with the roll coming across, but it's a real solid ball. Let's overcut that.
Chờ làm sao thì phát kênh này luôn.
But he kind of drags it with not a real low tip, you know, it's just a little below center. I gotta go here.
Yeah, Kazaka's going to attack with the bank shot, I believe.
I would
Is
think
it
so.
cut? Yeah, I don't think it's that easy to
The
cut.
bank lay's nice.
Dương Công Hoàng 1 giờ nhá.
Thing is, a lot of times you don't like to hit the banks with like a high ball unless you're kind of hitting it fairly light with the high ball. Here he's got to put a little more into it just to get, you know, some shot on the two.
Ồ. Cân vào hơi dày rồi.
Yeah, it's not, you know, it's kind of funny. You see amateurs think, oh, you got a dead bank.
Thằng cái bỏ bóng.
Like, there's no pro in the world that would bet their life on that bank, you know. And we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't do it, but we probably would bet on a straight in, or bet our life.
Yeah.
You know, we're just desperate. That's the only reason we're doing that. But for sure, there's no.
Me to
pros
bet the
that
I still haven't heard the winning side of that proposition that
Yeah,
I would bet
yeah.
my life on. They haven't enticed me with something so great just yet. Anyway,
Well,
I'm
like
waiting to hear it.
$200-300 maybe. You know.
2 or 3.
Có lẽ là với việc phải sử dụng lết. Người rất với luôn.
Come out with one.
Trang Dung Linh không căn được lực thật tốt.
Truth. Gross.
Thủ bí lại phơi nguyên con bí số 1 rồi.
Anyways, big shot for Kazakis. Kind of feel like
Chào bạn
the
Việt
match
Sĩ
is
nhá.
changing a little bit.
He can connect on this one, but elevated. Let's see if he can stay still through the delivery.
Bàn bí số 1 không thành công. Đây rồi.
Yeah, a little more
Của
engaged.
Trang Dung Linh chứ còn của ai nữa ạ.
Yeah, it's just a tough shot.
Oh, absolutely, it's a tough shot. I think Fortunski's the guy that I really like to watch on those elevated, such like a statue. It's amazing, and just so steel, and never overhits it either. It seems like. Okay, he doesn't want to get too thin here. He's got to get back for the 5. He's got to
Kazakit hình như đánh
off of a little
đánh throne thì phải.
on the 3. Wants to go forward a good foot here, maybe, Mark? All right, this is the type of shot you can't let up on. You have to make sure the throw works its best, the draw works its best. Small gap between the 7 and 10.
À, Icon chứ. Icon nhá.
10-0. Great 8-ball there.
Đây rồi, mấy cái ảnh gần gần đây là thấy đánh chơi Icon.
If he got there a little short with the swing, he's okay. I'll tell you, that's a nice win, 10-0 right there. Francisco got, like I said earlier, was 6'6" with Shaw yesterday. I mean, John can play. Couple different ways to play this. Just stay above and come across. You can come, you know, when you get on the 6, you can play with inside, come in between. I like this just to come across. Play the 7 in the same pocket.
Trông giống là hết rồi.
You know, plays the easiest.
5 bi nữa.
Get the other side of it, then sometimes the 10 ball can be a problem.
Yeah, and this is a real important part of it. Stay off the rail coming across. Hard for it to get very funny unless you're on the rail. Okay, he'll bring the cue ball 2 rails.
Tôi không biết được đâu bạn Đình Vận.
Holding that angle to come across.
Bạn phải hỏi bạn Hoàng Quân chứ. Bạn Hoàng Quân không phải kênh của tôi đâu.
Back down table for the, not from the 9 to the 10. I just love it that when guys recognize.
Các bạn toàn hỏi những câu giống kiểu cứ lên VTV1 xong rồi hỏi tại sao VTV2 không chiếu thế giới động vật nữa vậy.
That doesn't mean they're being passive. He's still being aggressive with the stroke. He's just getting the most out of it.
That was real pretty. Yeah.
Rồi. Còn đúng con bi cái trên bàn. Đúng con bi cái trên bàn.
6-5 and Chang to break. I think Kazakas maybe next time he
Hở ra là hết.
table or breaking maybe a timeout. You know, he's played awfully well, but the last few games he's had a few mistakes. You know, maybe go wash the face, get a little restart. He's played beautifully.
Trông giống là time out rồi.
His player timeout. Regroup.
Các cặp hình Bilax, thương hiệu bán bia tốt nhất Việt Nam.
What else you see going on? Looks like Wolford's pulled in front 7-3, right? Am I seeing that right? Yeah.
Với nội dung 10 bi thì sẽ đánh
7-4 over there.
chạm 11 anh em nhé.
And
Tỷ số bây giờ đang là 6-5 cho Kazakit.
what was the Filipino kid's name?
Time out, time out.
Pedo.
Đó, trận này tỷ số mới là 6-5 thôi, 7-5 được. 6-5 thôi nhá. Đây là giải International Open 2022. Giải đấu rất lâu đời của Mỹ rồi. Giải đấu này có 3 nội dung. Năm nay thi đấu có One Pocket này, có 9 bi này, và đây là 10 bi bán Bigfoot.
A cue with the revolutionary X-Shocks dampening system, eliminating vibration. G5 grip technology for enhanced traction and stability results in maximum cue control. Total sweet spot construction means unmatched power. And the Zero Flex Point ferrule provides dead-on accuracy, giving you the confidence you need in every shot. Lucasi Hybrid, the only cue that matters.
Đâu, tránh thiện là 9 giờ chứ.
Introducing the patented
Chào người thiện lương là 9 giờ sáng nhá.
removal tool. In order to keep billiard cloth playing like new, it needs efficient cleaning. With that in mind, Simonis devised and developed a totally innovative accessory, the Simonis X1. Now, you don't need a brush that pushes chalk dust around the table or into the weave, or a vacuum that can stretch and damage cloth if used improperly. The Simonis X1 quickly and quietly extracts chalk dust from the cloth and retains chalk particles in this revolutionary high-tech structure. How? The Simonis X1 works using static electricity and capillary action. Apply light pressure and use a rapid back and forth motion instead of the exaggerated pressure which is needed with a brush. The X1 gets the job done quickly, quietly, and efficiently.
Khả năng là trận này không kết thúc được vào trước lúc 1 giờ rồi. Nên là tôi sẽ live tiếp một cái luồng mới. Và đến giờ đó thì tôi sẽ sang trận Quốc Hoàng. Còn anh em nào xem tiếp trận này vẫn cứ xem nhé. Tôi sẽ để cái luồng này cho đến khi nào hết trận thì thôi. Và tuy nhiên đến 1 giờ thì sẽ không có bình luận nữa. Có các bạn nhé. 3 trận đấu của các cầu thủ Việt Nam thì sẽ đều phát sóng hết.
After cleaning the table and cushions, you can use the Simonis X1 to delicately brush the playing surface in parallel lines in order to give the cloth a well-kept and groomed appearance. The high-tech textile structure of the Simonis X1 possesses a high absorption capacity and can easily retain the dust of half a cube of chalk. That's a lot of chalk. Cleaning the Simonis X1 is easy. You can release the dust absorbed by the high-tech textile structure to restore its initial effectiveness. To do this, you can vacuum the face of the Simonis X1 or simply beat or slap the underside of the Simonis X1 with your hand to release the dust. It's as simple as that. Thank you. We hope you enjoy the revolutionary new Simonis X1.
Rồi, đôi giày, trận thi đấu quay trở lại rồi đây. Sau 11 ván thi đấu với tỷ số đang là 6-5 cho Kazakhstan. Ván thi đấu thứ 12, cú phá của Trang Dung Linh. Trong luật thi đấu của nội dung 10 bàn big foot này thì không thấy nói đến vấn đề bấm giờ. Tôi không chắc là có bấm giờ hay không. Dương Quốc Hoàng đánh nhánh thua. Phúc Long và Thịnh Lương đánh nhánh thắng. Sáng ngày hôm qua, và bây giờ qua ngày mới rồi thì gọi là sáng ngày hôm qua. Thịnh Lương và Phúc Long thì đều có 2 chiến thắng, tỷ số là 18. Dương Quốc Hoàng thì có một trận thua, tỷ số chung cuộc là 17. Hoàng Sao bây giờ chỉ còn một mạng nữa thôi. Với dùng nối và với vào giày con bi số 1. Cài một cửa lỗ rồi. Trang Dung Linh để lại cho Kazakhstan cái gì đây? Con bi số 1 đang nằm khá sâu trong vòng lỗ rồi. Băng thôi. Nhiều áp phê quá rồi. Vâng ạ, nhiều áp phê quá rồi. Nhưng vẫn có đường riêng bi số 3.
how easy it is for it to get away from you because you're hitting
Yeah.
so thin, you know, at
Right.
times. So
You barely lose anything on impact. In fact, you probably accelerate because you have a little running English, and then the hit adds a little bit more.
yeah, it sure does. And okay, he's gonna have to come
Ngon
out
luôn.
eight with a good speed.
Ở trên các bàn thi đấu 9 mi thì hiện tại bây giờ là chưa có bấm giờ đâu nhá.
You play the third rail that much on the shot, like most of the players really like to do.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so this is just about, you know, using more of your talent coming around the. I don't think I draw this one. I think I roll it with a high rank myself. But he's going to go ahead and come just past the 8. When he played more of a rolling ball, he was just aiming real low and then came up with the tip. Pretty good. Looks natural to go between the 9-7 mark.
Right. The only problem is the side pockets in there.
Vâng, Hoàng Sa 1 giờ đánh nhá, nửa tiếng nữa.
I don't want to have to shoot it if I got a stun at all, but if I can roll my ball, hard to figure him missing the mark if he can go between the 9 and 7.
Yeah, right now the decision is into the 7, stun up. Yeah, he recognizes that side pocket is on the trajectory line. How do I take that out of there?
Yeah. Going into the 7, you know, you don't figure to hit the underneath side. Hitting a little on the side of it, hair top of it's not the worst thing in the world. Again, I hate to stun off of this ball. I think that really brings the side pocket more into play. So sometimes going into a ball, if you can recognize it's really hard for something to go wrong, it may not be the wrong shot. Like there. Real hard for anything to go wrong.
You can
know,
defend yourself,
Yeah. As long as you understand the speed.
and it
No,
can
not
turn
to
out great.
overhit it. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then
Yeah.
much like this, you chip it up by the side pocket. Even though it's just a hair straight, it's so much better than scratching.
Yeah, or getting long off the 7 down by the 8 with the cue ball, you know, so. Sometimes it certainly makes sense to go into balls.
And that was one of them because you can see that was a rolling ball hit the bottom half of the 7, so we know he's going to have to do something to manufacture anything else. That's where it naturally went. So.
Yeah. What Mark is saying is,
Vâng, nếu mà trận này đến 1 giờ chưa xong thì tôi vẫn sẽ để cái luồng livestream này để anh em mà muốn xem tiếp thì xem.
wanted to
Xong rồi
avoid
tôi sẽ tạo một cái luồng livestream mới.
so
Trận giữa của Hoàng, anh em yên tâm nha.
side of the table, you're going to be close to it because your speed's going to
Không trượt được đâu.
never missing the 6 ball, which shouldn't happen anyways, but sometimes when you get involved with the cue ball, you know what happens. So a big game in my opinion
I agree.
Rồi,
for Kazakhstan.
7-5 cho Kazakit.
His break to come back and start the match over with. Breaks, gets a shot on the 1, hits it heavy like you suggested, and then
Trang Dung Linh bám đuổi rất quyết liệt, tuy nhiên thì anh vẫn chưa thể gỡ hòa được.
gets the 1 ball, he figures to get out just like
Oh,
this. So
absolutely, yeah.
now that's a big swing there. 7-5 is our score.
Yeah, and sometimes those shots, you know, if you kind of know the tendencies on the misses, you kind of can say, oh, well, let me just play it a little to the thinner side of the pocket on the 1. You got to be a little more delicate with the speed, of course, because he had to hold position. But it's weird how you don't want to sit there and be negative. Oh, I recognize misses this way or that way, but it does help, you know, if you recognize what the tendency
Right.
is, you know.
Right. Well, that's a
Từ đầu trận đấu đến bây giờ
better to make it not have position and then defend yourself.
thì
than
chủ
it is
yếu là
to try to
Trang Dung Linh xử lý lỗi nhiều hơn.
hang it up. But that's what you were saying.
Và đa số là sau đấy là các cầu thủ là ai trượt một con bi cái là thua cả cái ván đấu ấy luôn.
Yeah, this has got to get back in form for him. The break shot is crucial right now at the end of this match. It is 7-5 now.
Ván thi đấu thứ 13.
Really make that error hurt if he can do something here.
Ok, ban tổ chức không chỉnh tỷ số lên nào.
Oh,
7-5 cho Kazakit rồi.
Then came back out, but the 9 ball dropped in. He didn't get a shot.
the 8 and the 7 are going to be impeding.
Well, this is kind of that one pocket safety. I don't think there's any value in pushing out here unless you're going to push out to a kick.
Có chết một bi, tuy nhiên thì đuôi một mất rồi.
And No, he's definitely got to play that shot, I think. Just saying it's a little closer to the pocket this time. I'm wondering, would I try to get it up enough to use the 7, you know? Or would I just try and get it up enough to bleed over and just use the 6 as a snooker?
Well, just get it on the rail. Get it on the long rail, one rail off the end rail. And what we're talking about is rail first on the
Cái này có
rail,
lẽ là chạy an toàn mà thôi.
slightly back cut the one, let the one drift down table along the long rail between the 7 and the 3.
Ồ,
Yeah.
muốn A băng luôn.
It's a snooker and he really needs the
Muốn
ball
A băng
there.
con 1 này luôn. Vâng ạ, rất kinh nghiệm.
Good shot.
If he doesn't get the snooker,
Không ăn được 1 thì vẫn ra đuôi.
certainly a
Not so
big,
great.
yeah,
Right.
big pocket on the bank offensively, and he knows he's probably going to get snookered, you know, in return. So great shot there from Kazakis.
Good thoughts and then great execution on top of it. That's not easy to do.
Okay, so this one you'd like to hit a high right ball if you can, but the one's going to be hard to escape anyway. So maybe he rolls on this. I don't know. Oh, he was trying to play the bank, lost the
Chết
cue
cái
ball.
kìa. Ôi, Trang Dung Linh.
So Kazakis rewarded
Quá lỗi.
now for a great play.
Oh, excellent. And the thing is, I think Chang was trying to come
Quên đặt
across
bi.
the one, maybe bank it in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have
Rồi,
Chang
các con bì
kicking
đều
it,
có đường riêng.
not just, I wouldn't say it was totally hoping, but not so much of a plan. You laid down a really nice shot.
Right. Yeah, when you make him create an unforced error, you did pretty good.
Okay, could come for the side. I probably don't, but he could.
He overhit this.
Well, he's coming for the side, so. But the thing is, I didn't like where the 3 was to play for the side on the 2 myself. Now he's got to work the
Rồi lựa mà con bì số 2 à. Con này đánh 3 băng rồi.
Could have just came out one rail and then drew off the 2 easily over behind the 3 with the 4 near the pocket. But if I played a little more on the 10-footer in these tournaments, I might run the ball a little more for the sides myself.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, the 5 to the 6 though. He knows it's demanding how he gets on the 5. That really will show us a lot about getting position on the 6. And the 8's kind of a big ball trying to come across, getting on the 5. You know, you probably need to draw past the side here off the 4. We'll see. Needs to come out to the center at least. Oh, he came over here. That's interesting.
But he forgot he can't reach this very good.
Yeah. Well, the good thing for him is he's got a
cái khoảng
great
này
draw,
thì
so he can cheat the pocket here if he
Trang
wants.
Dung Linh phải lấy nối. Vâng, Kazakis cũng phải lấy nối.
So they put the extension on.
Bàn dài, quá dài luôn.
5x10 that the cue ball gets a diamond to the other side of the side pocket. Even for someone as tall as me, can't reach it.
Yeah.
On 9-footer, no problem.
The follow to me was going to be tougher to get all the way back down because he needs to get past the center. So we'll see.
Yeah, he needs to forget trying to get past the center much and just get that down, because if you try to overhit that ball, it's so easy to jiggle it down there, trying to force an angle when the extension and stretched. Now, it's going to be very tough to get on the 6 because he didn't get the place that you said.
Yeah, can he get by the 10 going forward? If he
Looks
can
like
get
he
by the
might.
10,
Yep.
if he can get by the 10, otherwise you're going to draw the ball one rail over. I think, anyways. Just straight draw. You really don't need right, really, but you can put a little right if you want. That's why I stay away from the right myself.
Va.
Oof.
Vâng ạ,
You know
va
what I
chạm
mean, Mark?
mỏng
Yeah.
bì
Straight
số
draw,
8.
you can let your stroke out because
Ra
it's
báo
not
bì số
gonna
6 con
break
này
right here.
chém
Right, grab his
một
extension
con cái lên
and
đâu đó tầm gần chấm 2 băng dài rồi.
Very missable ball, especially probably
Lết
having to
hay
look to
là
the side on the ball.
and a little
thấp
pace.
nối đây.
Yeah.
He seems to think he can do it without the bridge. Wow.
It's a pretty long extension he has there. So. I don't know if I come 4 or not. I might just float 2 and take a long shot. That's just my feeling on the 6. Oh, he went around.
Too many stretches finally. Yeah, it's hard. When you stretch like that and then you have to do something with the cue ball, you really compound the error.
Không thành công. Cơ hội lại đến với Trang Dulin. Tuy nhiên thì hình ở bây giờ trông nó dễ hơn lắm rồi. Thì còn có 4 con bi mục tiêu trên bàn nữa mà thôi.
Come on one rail out. No big deal, but he's close to it. He can kill his rock if he wants coming around the 8. He's very good at this. Oh, he's going to come 2, okay. Yeah, got to
He
go a
didn't do
little.
good. Yeah, he didn't do real good there.
Yeah, could have got a little
Bàn này là
closer.
bàn 10 feet nhé.
I see him play that little kill nip
To
draw
hơn
shot
bàn
around
thi đấu
the
bình thường.
backside of the 8 a lot when he's close to the ball, so I was a little shocked he went that way. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just gonna have to do it again.
Takes a moment to gather himself here. It's a little more of a shot than he was anticipating. Something well within his grasp.
Yeah, I think he's gonna decide to go back and forth and play the 10 and the opposite side of the table. Yeah, like this. Just makes it a little more comfortable on the 8.
Mm-hmm.
That was more the natural way to shoot it as far as the speed on the 8.
We got a
Đấy.
great match going on here.
Cú đẩy bi số 10 thành công và Trang Dulin có 1 điểm. Vẫn duy trì khoảng cách 1 điểm.
I would say the majority of our noon matches in the 9-ball have finished. Guys coming in at the 2 o'clock, guys and ladies, excuse me, coming in at the 2 o'clock hour getting warmed up. I think it's 12, 2, and 4 for the one-loss side. I think after that, the rest of the evening will be winner side matches, round 2.
7 and 10. Be the next 2 match times on the TV table.
And Robert Frost from Ohio played a great match against Darren Appleton yesterday and beat him. Robert's had a great year. I mean, he's had some wins and some nice events. He's had a lot of high finishes. Federer, who really kind of dominated.
Rồi,
America,
ván thi đấu
seemed
thứ
like
14.
it's a fact, but,
Trang Dulin phá bi.
other than Federer, though, around these tournaments in
4
America,
không rơi kìa.
I break maybe had a wrong
2 rơi.
2 ball.
2 got down.
Ok.
Besides Federer,
Cú
though,
phá
I
hợp
think
lệ.
Robert Frost and Josh Roberts really kind of had some of the best years here in America. Maybe not the U.S. Open and maybe not, some of the real big events, but as far as a lot of regional events, a lot of great tournaments. It's really shown with both their games, and they're both undefeated.
Bi số 1 không biết là côn hay chưa, nhưng mà cả chưa côn thì con bi này chém là rất khó.
Touchy.
Trang có thể sượt mỏng và vẫn là chém luôn.
Boy, what a shot he hit there. That was not
Rơi rồi.
easy.
Chỉ có thể là hay thôi ạ.
To get a break to not bump anything. To get a shot on the 3.
Well, he took it on himself, hitting that with a hair of outside to come clean.
4 cửa lô.
Cue ball, and that
Yeah.
not only
Tí chém con bi số 3 đường xa. Và chẳng biết đã côn hay chưa. Côn rồi thì dễ hơn.
Big reward with the 4 over the side.
Beautiful. Beautiful. 6 ball helped him.
Nhất quả đất.
Doesn't have to go far. Just a
Bắn thế thì
little
chịu đấy ạ.
little diamond here off the 4 to get that nice little angle on the 5.
Showing some real tenacity mentally here. Tough layout. Been behind in the score all the way.
Well, I think some of the things with the great players that are overlooked or not talked about enough is, of course, the talent is there.
6 bi nữa.
Is there that we all love to play. But I think more than anything, and I see it with Cheng especially.
Trang Dulin có cơ hội gỡ hòa.
I think he just loves to compete.
Tầm này mà hòa phát xong tự nhiên vươn lên dẫn trước nữa thì có khi Kazakis lại bị tâm lý đấy.
He brings that up a lot, and he does that a lot. But just the competition I think is a big part of not only why these guys play great, but why they want to play.
Chang fell very, very straight on this, which means he's going to have to use quite a lengthy draw to get back onto the 7. There is a scratch, and there's also the capacity to get too straight on the 7.
Yeah, it's all speed control here.
No
Nice-
scratch.
Nice line on the
But
cue
now
ball.
he's going to be a little bit flat. Not too bad. Got up. Great shot then.
Well, this table here, you know, very rarely you're going to have someone out there play and do well when they're not in that working mentality. And he's a worker, so I think this table sets up real nice for Chang. He knows it's not going to be easy no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
He's another guy that I never thought would get
Ôi,
reach
7-7.
the point he's at. Or it's hard to predict that, I guess.
Tôi nghĩ là như vậy.
I mean, he's been a good player for a long time, but ooh, little light there. I thought, yeah, you can see him look up in the sky.
Đến tầm này là kiểu muốn chắc đạn rồi.
I know he definitely wanted another foot out of the cue ball. I don't think he was settling for this.
No. And this will definitely tax you mentally here. He's got to fight the impulse to get quick. Oh,
Yeah, that was the
that's a
entire match. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
that's
Mark.
a crippling blow there.
A easy shot here, just a hair of right English normally, just a little below center. Going to the side
Ép
rope.
ra lấy con 7, đường xa phát. Chuyển thằng 9 cũng đường xa, má hơi lưỡng một tí.
Hard to believe
Thế là
he
trượt 9 luôn.
around this ball. Most would hit downward a little.
Thôi xong rồi.
I know it sounds crazy, straight top. That's actually a more awkward way to shoot it for most players. The connection on the object ball isn't as clean usually, but
We had to use some inside English to get the even as much as he got up
Yeah.
going forward. Okay, well, that was another.
8-6 cho Kazakit.
Is that our accurate score over there? 8-5. Is that correct?
it's 8-6. I
8-6.
believe it was going to be 7-7 right there. Yeah. Should be Kazakas breaking in the next game.
Yeah, Chang had a chance to break a run out there, and he negotiated all those tough circumstances, and then he fell just a little short, transferring from the 8 to the 9. You know, the other thing, he did not have a great final pause. He kind of feathered the cue ball a few times. He stayed still, and then it just kind of went off without that final, like, okay, I'm going to get it. It was almost like, I hope I make it.
Well, you kind of read my mind a little bit there, but you know he doesn't have a pause all the time though. He's not a 100% guy going to pause, and I think occasionally it does get you. I just do. I believe firmly in the front pause. I'm not a big proponent of the one in the back.
Me either.
I'm not saying it can't be used and understand it when it's good and understand it when it's not so good, but the one at the cue ball, I think, is essential.
Well, it sets up your timing, you know, the rhythm of your
Yeah.
delivery.
That's
That's
the-
the thing. If you change it, then now it doesn't take hardly anything to miss. So if you get just a whisker off, well, you can see he hit the ball good. It rattled in the pocket, but did not fall.
Yeah, and then, you know, I think it does a number of things, to be honest with you. I think
Ván thi đấu thứ
I
15,
feel like your
Kazakit
eyes
pha
never
bi.
really get set.
Hơi nhiều bi trên bàn thì phải.
You know, you're kind of
Không
like
chết
moving
bi
target,
nào.
kinda wind
Đường
up
riêng bi số
a
1.
little bit. I think there's a number of things that happen with that pause.
A lot of times people say, you know,
Nhưng mà cứ lưu giữ một điểm này khó nhận định lắm.
move my cue to the
Tuy
beat.
lên tầm 2 điểm vào cái khắc nửa cuối trận thi đấu thì
The cueing pattern is what your rhythm is.
sẽ là lợi thế rất nhiều Kazakit.
To understand the relationship of that, and you want to do it exactly the same every time. When you get just even a hint off beat, really changes the quality of the delivery.
Yeah, it's actually some of the pros I've worked with. You know, couple from Southeast Asia actually, and they brought up him, and I said, well, you know, just because someone plays great and they're
Hình này nó
pro,
còn lưu gì
you
ở
know,
con
so
bi
many plays, doesn't mean maybe they might not be off with something.
số
They
6
might
kia
be,
nữa.
Oh,
Con bi số
yeah.
4 nữa, con
it's
bi số
just
6.
like, you know,
Very fragile sport.
yeah, it's just like practicing, right? When you have talent, you can practice. Oh, this got to go here. Oh, perfect. When you have talent, you can practice a certain way and get in groove, but what's going to hold up under the heat? That's really what you want to identify. He's gotten perfect. He'll draw back just maybe to the head string, something like that. Little light of his mark there.
Even there, it's kind of like he kind of let up. Or,
I guarantee you he
Yeah.
did. I totally agree he let up.
That's
Yeah.
not the usual crisp finish to the stroke that we see with him. And that's what happens when you absorb, you know, you're constantly under pressure, you're 3-0 behind, battle. Then have a couple bad things happen to you along the way. It can easily start to affect your psyche, which we rarely ever see Chang's mental game break down, even one iota. But
Oop,
it appears,
oop.
it
Well.
appears to be happening now.
Well, you know, when
Hỏng
these
hết
guys
cả hình
defend,
rồi.
this table will magnify a
Oh, it
lot, you know, so.
Mất hết.
Yes. That's why this is
Nhưng thực sự là điều con 4 là khó.
9-footer.
Yeah.
A couple of these misses
Trang Dung Linh
will
trượt
come
4 rồi.
because they're so close.
Well, and I think once you make that mistake, it's easy.
Kazakhstan
or
gấp
you
thôi.
don't, fret as much.
Đó còn
You
con
know,
bi
like
từ
they
5 ra
go
6
in
nữa.
that couple insecure strokes or whatever you want to call it. You know, it can really linger in your brain.
Well, it's right there. He knows he let up on the ball before, got a little funny
Exactly.
on that. Then it compounded. Now he's rattled this ball. Now Kazakhstan is back, and it just ramps up exponentially moving forward.
What I've found, you know, when it comes to mechanics is, you know, you normally when you don't pause, you tend to get a little quick on the back and then you let up a little on the way down. Well, when you let up, that's when actually you can drop the elbow, everything kind of can lose form a little bit. When you don't let up, it seems that like the high elbow stays intact, everything stays better. It's almost like when you decel
Đây
and
rồi,
let up a
ra
little
đúng
bit,
ma cộng bi 6 7 đẹp
hips
nhất rồi.
used to get into the ball at a certain point, and when it ain't, just everything kind of buckles a little. And you notice right there, he didn't draw the ball as well.
Spot on.
Yeah.
It's so subtle too, boy.
Oh, yeah. That's what makes our sports so difficult, I think, are the subtleties. All right, the 6 is going to go away a little bit because he can't really roll the ball, I don't think. So good control there.
Boy, really good shot. Picking up position on the secondary object ball, plus make the combination. It's not that easy.
Yeah, what a huge miss there. And really, the 4 ball was one miss, but it was a shot prior and trying to get back to that 3-game lead now late in the match, Mark. I wouldn't do much here. This is all about not what you want to do, but what's needed.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he was really queuing up, trying to pound this a bit. Oh, no, he just held it. Smart shot. Shane Wolford advances on the one loss side. I think he plays possibly one more.
Rồi, có Lai Hoàng sao nhá.
Maybe he has a day off.
1 giờ là lên xe rồi.
Chris Reinhold, I tell you, he's battling over there. He's in a match, 8-7.
Smooth that one in. Got the maximum out of the cue ball with the minimum amount of power.
Yeah, I was watching his backhand right there. And his last pre-stroke and his right before he pulled the
Hai bi
trigger,
nữa
it
và
was like
Kazakhstan lại đưa khoảng cách lên thành 3 điểm.
grip in the back a little bit.
Phải nói là trận này Trang Dung Linh lỗi nhiều.
Just really kind of lighten it up.
Perfect stop shot. And
Rồi,
like you said,
9 sao?
huge rack there. 9-6 now. We thought it was going to be 37-7. Looked imminent. You can't come here and not get tested, Diamond, that's for sure. And you're going to have to win from behind in more than probably one match to win the event. You just don't get to go wire to wire.
No, I mean, you're playing great players. It's a very taxing table. You got to stay mentally tough. Looks like Darren Appleton's at the 2 o'clock hour. Greg Hogue as well. Lost to Joey Tate last night. It was a fun match to watch. Joey Tate, I'll tell you, he's got a lot of heart. He just keeps plugging. He made a couple mistakes that didn't expect last night, and then, just didn't give up. Easy to get down on yourself because he had a chance to really get a big
Ván thi đấu thứ 16, Trang Dublin Fabi
mistakes. Greg got going.
giằng co nhau đến 1/3 cuối của trận đấu rồi, nhưng Trang Dublin vẫn cứ để Kazakit dẫn 3 điểm.
He's young, but he owns his mistakes. He doesn't make excuses.
Có hình.
He's got the moral fiber. Any kind of a quality, long-term, successful player. It comes down to personal character. He has that. So now it's just a matter of him logging in the time to get the experience, and he's going to get bruised and battered. But he's going to toughen up, and he's going to become formidable down the way.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, you've beaten somebody like that last night.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if that's his biggest win. It's a big one for him, of course. A great setting to do so. The 4-ball a little funny here. If it doesn't pass the 8, he's got to work hard in this rack. He can come 2 rails back off the 3 to play the 4 in the corner where the 2's at. That's a pretty big drop zone. And the 6 is near, so really position on the 4 takes care of a lot.
Vâng, chị Hương ơi, đây là 10 bi nhé.
But Joey,
10 bi bàn 10 feet.
I think it was yesterday you and I were talking about it. And that's the angle he wanted, to be able to get behind this ball. He just needs to get around great players more, as much as possible. I mean, smart players, guys that know how to teach and train and whatnot, like yourself and some others, but also just being around those great players is huge. Oh, I didn't know he could get at this ball here.
The 4 goes.
Well, that's definitely the
4
shot.
không biết còn đường riêng không nhỉ?
This could get, when you're on top of it, can get a little distorted in there. Like, what's going to happen right here? I think he wanted a hair more angle just to separate the cue ball and the 6 a little more, maybe.
I feel like you might draw into the 6.
Oh, I
Just lightly
agree.
Bump it. No.
I agree. I don't think he can drag forward here. Oh, he went to the 8.
Rồi, ok.
Drag forward a little bit.
I'll tell you, he got dead straight. I don't know if he can get any angle to get
Vừa
a
coi.
cut shot on this 10 or not. He may have to draw back into this
Má này
ball.
cắm về có thuận lợi ra 7 hay không?
This is the type of shot you're not cheating from this distance.
Right.
Like, yeah. If the 6
But you'll
ball's
want to, and
Yeah,
sometimes
but-
at the end you flinch a little bit.
Yeah,
to
you're
make it,
right.
So that's when we rattle these, trying to manufacture an angle that's not there.
No, he did cheat it to the upper part of the pocket.
Got quite a bit out of it, but he's still got a long ways to go. He's got to travel this cue ball.
4 bi nữa.
7.
Yeah.
Do you think he can hold it? Maybe with outside, you can check
Well,
it
the
up.
thing
then
is,
you get the wrong angle.
It could get away from you with outside to where you get real funny. So he's going to try and really pinch it and come, not a rolling outside, but like that.
He's got further away and got just a hint of funny angle. Not too bad, but going to take a pretty big draw, and you want to be hopeful that you don't get too straight in.
I'll tell you what, maybe in a little bit after this rack, we'll see the shot on the 6. I'm not sure if we will or not, but that shot impressed the heck out of me from so much distance. He really used the pocket to be able to get that shot on the 7, and that's a hard one to pull the trigger.
Ok rồi đấy.
Could be
Yeah.
curtains.
Trang Dublin sắp có một chấm phá rồi.
Good job there. He didn't overhit it and got the angle and get down table 2 cushions. 3 cushions, no, 2.
Ooh, okay. He's all right.
Great speed.
Đây rồi,
He is a
7-9 cho Trang Dublin.
They call him Fire Dragon.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Aloysius Yap said that he went to Taipei to play him and said that they played, I don't know if he said 20 sets or 22 sets, $100 a set. And he said that, did he say he won one or none? I think he went hill. I can't remember if he won one or none. But it was kind of like the springboard to his career. He got to see over the course of 4 or 5 days what he had to do, you know, and kind of most everybody in Asia and even some of us here kind of feel like this guy might be the best, you know, he's certainly in the equation. And it was just fascinating to hear his perspective of what he gleaned from those days there playing.
Yeah, I think actually, Yap, every chance he gets, hops over to Taiwan to play some of those guys. And Taiwan, it's so good, so many great players, and the equipment's tough, which I like usually. Usually at the rooms that the real players are at, they have some nice tighter tables, but they play good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like don't want to get on a gaffy tight table. It's not really going to do much for you. Nothing wrong with the 4 1/4, 4 1/8, whatever, 4-inch, but as long as it plays well.
9-7 our score. Kazaka's breaking.
Huge break shot here, Mark. Oh, it was going towards that side.
But he made a ball.
Is the two going to agree? It is, so got to take advantage here.
Boy, the two complied. The 7-9 tangled up.
Yeah, it does go in the lower right, though, I believe. So you'll have to get somewhat straight on the 6 to draw back into position.
The 1, 2, and the 4 all arranged together down there. Then the 5, 6, 7. That's going to be the sticking point in this rack.
Yeah, and maybe, just depends on how he gets on the 5 to get to the 6, maybe the 7 to the 8. That may end up being a little bit of an issue as well. Like you said, though, these first few, even though they're simple, they're very important to get on that 5 correctly. Gets on the 5 well, gets on the 6, should get out. Didn't want to have to get to where you had to stun or draw, because then your speed control isn't at its best. He'd have rather rolled off this ball with a high right, but got a little straight here. Doesn't want to fall behind this, Mark. Okay, I think he's just full enough to be able to draw and not contact. May come across between the 7 and 8 1 rail, but I think he can draw and not contact the 10, 9, and 7. He definitely wants to be straight here on the 6, wouldn't you say? Straight-ish?
Well, I'm going with you that the 7 goes.
I'm almost 100%
sure.
it goes. Okay. Yeah. I think we would have saw him address and think about it a little more also.
Right, I agree. Boy, from here, it just doesn't look
like that's perfect there. This is all about just, letting the stroke out, making a good shot. Everything's natural.
Wouldn't he love to have the cue ball right back where it's at now?
It's amazing how often, I tell people that's a great drill. Is it not only comes up a lot, but nothing gives you better feedback than where you started, in my opinion. So, shoot a lot of shots to draw back to there, to 1 rail to there, 2 rails to there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your starting point. You can really get dialed in, believe it or not. This is the shot he's usually really good at. You were talking about earlier, Mark. Oh, my goodness.
Hugely disappointed with that miss. That opens the door for Chang to pull a game closer, but he's got a lot of work to do. He's got to travel the cue ball here.
I think just 1 rail. 2 rails doesn't make sense too much to me. He played the 2, though. So what's he going to do, though? Draw off the 9? That could be hairy coming off this 9 here. That's why I thought he would come 1 rail. You couldn't ever get the real prime position coming 2. How much of the 9 is he going to catch? I guess not that much, huh?
feels like he can control the back past the center of the table. Boy, he got, oh yeah, pretty good, but he's definitely longer than he wanted to be.
Yeah, I thought he would catch quite a bit of it,
Well, you were right.
but really, you know, the 2 rails just play to play off the 9, right? I mean, just
Yeah.
that's what he did, and he secured it a little more that way. Never was getting snookered on the 6 or the 7 rather.
You can't get the prime position with the 2 cushions.
Rồi,
or
luồng
the
của Dương Quốc
the
Hoàng đã
secure
lên
position,
trên
right?
kênh Lão Mõ rồi nhá.
That way you can get yourself
Trận thi đấu của Dương Quốc Hoàng đã bắt đầu. Chúng ta xem nốt cái trận thi đấu này đi đã.
Figure also, you're not going to beat anybody here if you can't make that
Yeah,
little tougher shot. So
and really, prime position really was kind of.
Anh em có thể vào fanpage Lão Mõ để xem nhá.
low
Get-
percentage.
Dương Quốc Hoàng bắt đầu rồi đấy.
You know.
Well, yeah, it was a small.
Mày không cần phải mở điện thoại ra đọc comment đâu, đọc luôn.
But what I was thinking is not thinking of prime. What I was thinking about it was just better, you know.
Yeah.
So, prime flirts with getting snookered.
Yeah, 9-8 now. And in the most interesting dynamic, perfect position is much different than proper position. You know, so maybe this was proper position rather than we'd like where he started from for where Kazakas had the cue ball. That's where we'd like to get it, but off that end rail down there and traveling it there.
Well, the one thing is, most likely on that shot, you don't want to get to where you're barely catching the 9, because that's actually harder to predict how the cue ball is going to come off versus you know, catching more of the 9. So he knew he was going to be a little long on the 8, but he knew he was definitely drawing above.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we talk about, you know, don't shoot in between, you know.
Right.
So he just went ahead and committed to the thicker hit coming off that ball into the 9.
Nothing worse than shooting with mental ambiguity about your shot. that assures a disaster.
Well, I know we had Gorst do something special last night. I wouldn't doubt he does it again. But I think we're going to see a lot of these types of score lines the rest of this.
Hoàng Sao đánh rồi nhá. Anh em có thể lên vào fanpage Lão Mõ. Có một cái luồng livestream mới rồi đấy, tôi đã mới tạo rồi đấy.
This is down. The one needs to. Ooh, got a little kiss on the cue ball.
8-9.
The 2's getting ugly though.
Yeah, and the
Ván thi đấu thứ 18.
No.
makeable but not easy.
Trang Dung Linh phá bi và anh phá ra một cú phá, vâng ạ, có hình rồi.
Figure him just put a little high right on this, banking the 1 back towards the 10 and killing the cue ball. I'd keep it simple here. I don't want the devastating safety. I just want to get him snookered. It's a big stretch though.
Oh, even for a tall player, I have to use a bridge. I mean, look, your even with the extension, your bridge hand is at the joint.
Yeah. You can hear maybe Kenny Schumann in the background about to announce.
Quyết định sử dụng lết trong pha bán bi số 1. Hoặc là cũng có thể chạy.
Announcing the 2 o'clock hour.
Trông giống là Trang Dung Linh muốn
Bridge, a lot
thực
of
hiện ăn
right
con
spin.
bi số 1 này rồi.
Oh, he went that way. That's amazing to me, Mark. That was a huge
Quyết định ở trong
that's the difference in going for the
một cái
devastating
khớp này là
safety versus getting the snooker.
chạy.
No jump cues. I thought just
Chạy lòi luôn.
1 towards the 10 with a high right ball with the 8-9-4-5 there, right? I mean, hard to miss that snooker.
Yeah. Now, you know, there is an opening here.
Yeah, he's got to attack downward on the cue ball, come on 1 rail at the 7.
Kazakas hits this type of shot pretty good.
Well, what he's looking at is, can I level out, go between the 4-5 and get straight in?
Điều bấm start ở trên đấy.
Upper
Bấm
corner
start.
does pass the 7. If he can get straight, that's not a bad play if he felt confident.
Rồi.
So, because he can level
Có
out.
đường riêng bi số 1 cho Kazakit, tuy nhiên thì anh còn phải điều 2 nữa.
Feel good about it. So he's hitting down.
2 theo tôi quan sát thì là không thể đưa được vào lỗ giữa rồi. Lắc lỗ Kazakit.
Not going to fault him on any of that. He had the nice pause. The cue ball, just a tough shot.
Yeah, Chang's gonna just so he only has really the left kind of side of the cue ball, so he's gonna go with that, trying to fall straight in on the rail to shoot the 2 by the 7. So this is where you just trust your speed, your talent, becoming 2 rails. Super nice.
Yeah, he was able to work the cue ball pretty close compared to where I thought it was going to be.
And now it looks like he may have to go forward a couple inches to gain an angle on the 3 to come up the left side of the table behind the 5 for position on the 4 on the right side. This is a funny little shot, you know. I might drag this versus stun it. I don't know.
Some players draw it to stop in front of the side pocket so they can get to the bottom of the ball easier.
Yeah, but you're straight in then, so that's why you almost needed to go forward a little bit to get that angle on the 3 to go forward off of this one.
You didn't get much angle at all, even stunning it forward here.
I think just top English.
Yeah, you know, I have to play it in the side pocket over where it's standing now.
Yep, that's right. That's kind of how it laid. This is where that follow through is so huge, just makes it so much easier.
Rồi, cơ hội Trang Dung Linh. Ui, tầm này khớp cái lên 9 đều thì trận này hay dã man luôn nhá.
And that's the one thing that was obvious to me.
Mặc dù là bây giờ Dương Quốc Hoàng đã đánh rồi, nhưng mà tuy nhiên thì tôi lại cảm thấy trận này vẫn hay.
That's the one that's, you know, he kind of stopped the tip at impact, you know, almost every shot versus going through a little bit. And it wasn't hard to see that he made a conscious change for the Chinese 8-ball. Oh my. What a first round, one loss side match. Darren Appleton and Omar Al-Shaheen.
5 bi mục tiêu nữa.
Was one of those guys early.
Hình là thuận lợi cho Trang Dung Linh. Vâng, Lương Đức Thiện thì sẽ đánh vào lúc 9 giờ sáng ngày mai nhé.
The most routine of all of them so far. It's challenging.
This is where he drags that ball with straight drag, no right at all.
And then just lets it roll, pick up roll.
Cùng giờ với trận thi đấu này thì Dương Quốc Hoàng đang đánh ở trên
I think it's
cũng ở trên fanpage Lão Mõ luôn nhé. Có một cái luồng livestream mới đấy. Anh em muốn xem Dương Quốc Hoàng thì có thể sang luồng livestream bên đó.
I think it's a
Vào fanpage là sẽ thấy
like
đang có 2 luồng song song với nhau.
living on that shot. The variation of the drag.
Đây rồi. Đây rồi.
9 apiece is what we're looking at.
Trang Dung Linh. Chín đều.
This battle going on here. I love Wicked.
Ly nó cũng chỉ lên thế thôi chứ, đúng không
You
ạ?
know, it's like in that movie.
9 đều.
I love the smell of chalk in the morning. Smells
Không
like
biết buông bỏ là gì luôn.
Got a little macho man going on there with that voice.
Oh yeah, I
Step
do.
into a Slim Jim.
Có khoảng cách 3 điểm tới 2 lần. Tuy nhiên thì Kazakit vẫn chưa thể dứt điểm ở trận đấu và để cho Trang Dung Linh gỡ hòa ở cái khắc 9 đều trong một trận thi đấu chặng 11.
That's Spanky. Yeah, I listen to that every morning. It just cracks me up. It's like my alarm.
He's in action right now. Looks like he's lost the first game. I can't quite make out who he's playing. I think the flag looks like a Vietnam flag to me.
Oh, Lord. I'm ashamed. I don't see any of it.
Well, I got to use the readers for the small stuff, but I still got it pretty good from long distance. Thank goodness.
Rồi, một trận đấu chạm hai.
Big shout out to
Kazakit phá trước.
listening in. We got Alan Oliver in St. Louis. I know he's tuned in along with his parrot, Isabel Lorette.
Sẽ đánh chạm 11 nhá.
Yeah, Greg Hogan said he had a little back issue. I don't know if it was in the travel here. Not 100% with his back.
9-9, very square hit on the break. Is that a dry break? Yes.
And he threw his hands up, and I think he does have a piece of the one.
I think that's what that meant.
Rồi, Kazakit phá 2, 4, 6, 8,
I think that's a little more
10.
frustration.
Vâng ạ, không chết bi nào.
Really key mistakes here late in this match. He could have got on the heel a couple games ago, made a little bit of a
Yeah.
mistake also, and I don't know if that's the top Vietnamese player, but he sure is one of them. That guy can play. He's got the kick here. He's going to get a little fortunate the way these turned out.
Rồi, Trang chạy lại cho một pha
Schulman's going to have to be on top
nhạy
of
cảm
his
rồi.
heels all like that.
Pha này nhạy cảm rồi.
The guy that Greg's playing over there, I'll get his name in a moment. I do know it, but it just slips my mind. He don't look like he's doing much to you. Sure does run out. Look at this, where he's got to go with this.
Yeah,
big
this
shot,
is
huh?
ugly. Ugly as could
Could
be.
make the one in. Oh, he's no rail.
Vâng ạ.
Get a rail at that speed.
Còng áp phê nghịch để
He really had to go
thực
at
hiện
that
một
one.
pha A bằng gót 1.
Spin won't
Tuy
get-
nhiên
yeah,
thì
I mean,
Of course, yeah. it's-
không
it
có
was
băng.
difficult no matter what.
right. Either way you go.
Quyền đặt bi cho
It is hard
Trang
to
Dục Liên.
hit a rail, you foul because you don't hit the ball. But if you hit the
Đêm
ball,
nay.
you can't hit it hard enough to get a rail.
Yeah, I think he's lost a little bit of his mental just for a second. I mean, after that dry break, you could see some frustration and certainly some frustration with a couple of mistakes.
Rồi, với quyền đặt bi thì Trang Dục Liên đang có một lợi thế rất rõ ràng trong trận thi đấu này.
In the match,
Khi đây là một trận thi đấu có thể thức phá luân phiên.
labored through. He made, 24
Ghi được một điểm ở đây vươn lên dẫn trước thì Trang Dục Liên sẽ lên hưu. Ván sau anh có quyền phá bi nữa.
Like in the ego defense mode, like even when he'd win, he'd shake his head no.
Bắt đầu áp lực phát là
When
Kazakit phá không ra hình ngay,
won that,
không chết bi nào.
you have to win with your B game. You don't always just go coasting through there and just unscathed. You can get dinged up.
Well, if you watch, there's not too many individuals. I mean, there are individual sports, of course, but if you pay attention to them, I think other sports, they're very conscious of things. That, they spend a lot of dollars trying to find
Rồi.
a better way to do things.
Đẩy ba lỗ giữa.
Just because they have
Tuy nhiên thì có lẽ là sẽ phải tính va đầu 5 Trang.
so much money, it just sounds like the right thing to do. But if you notice, like the players in golf today,
Vậy là vẫn má đẩy không cần phải va đầu 5.
you know what I mean? They have
Có đường riêng bi số 4 rồi.
They have sports doctors and things like that that make them realize in time it does pay off to get your emotions in check. So
Well, look at like maybe John McEnroe was a guy that operated off of negative energy, but yet he would still come back and win. Why? Because he didn't believe a word he was saying. He
Yeah.
wasn't consumed. He was just letting out energy.
exactly. Yeah.
Earl Strickland used to be an example of that, but now it's manifested itself into a nature and a habit, and now he starts to buy in.
Right.
He wasn't like that when he was younger.
Đây rồi.
And so I think it really goes to you can build that up or you can tear it down. And if you build it up, then boy, you got a hurdle to jump over.
Yeah, that's right. And
6 bi nữa trên bàn.
same thing with the guys today. We don't see. I don't, anyways. I don't see near as much of the young crowd show that frustration like I saw,
Right.
decades ago playing this game. And it's a frustrating game. You know what I mean? It's not like everyone's going to handle it the same. But you have to find your middle ground. You have to find something that, you can learn from. Nothing wrong with getting a hair upset, but you got to leave it behind quickly,
Right. No, it hurts because you've poured your whole
Rồi,
life
hơi co tay con bi vào sau.
to be out here. That has to be your lifestyle. But
Trang Dục Liên không thể sẩy con bi nào trong cái ván thi đấu này.
cool to know that you're going to have matches that it's just ugly. You have to learn to win.
Lợi thế đang nằm ở trong tay anh rõ ràng luôn.
It's like this guy right here grinding through the beginning of this match. It wasn't going his way completely. A dry break, couple little errors. Alex playing perfect, but he stuck with it. And now we're at 9-9. He's at the table, and I tell you, it's no coincidence because he does it a lot.
No, he's a fighter.
He gets in this situation a lot.
Rồi, 7
He
cái
needs
một
an
băng
error.
ra, điều
Boy,
8
listen,
cùng lỗ.
he lost the lag, and he dry broke once. And it's
Ngon lắm rồi.
Exactly.
I mean, then he did labor
Ba bi nữa.
in the middle racks here, but he kept his head in it. Now he's got a chance to even go in front. This would be the first time in the entire match he even goes in front.
It was odd to me right there. He looked a little bewildered about this situation. He can go forward or draw back, either one, and just play a very natural ball from the 9 to the 10. Chang normally wouldn't move for the side pocket here. He'd just come one rail, a little light stun right at the 10 ball. Look at John Schmidt over there talking with Stewie. He looks like he's just dissecting what Chang's doing. He's really putting a lot of thought into JL at the moment.
Yeah, it's probably like.
That's good. I love to see, you know.
No, I think it's probably
Đây rồi.
like those memes where there's a guy and his wife laying in bed. And she's
Đây
wondering,
rồi.
you know, what kind of girl he's thinking of, and he's thinking about I should have played safe.
Yeah,
Great.
right, right,
I
right.
think I don't think John's thinking about that at all. He's thinking about
19
should I get a
cho
cup of coffee or,
Trang Dung Linh.
you know, maybe.
Anh ấy vươn lên dẫn trước ở một cái thời điểm.
I know it. I know from my
Nó gọi là dã man tàn bạo luôn.
play. You know,
Trang Dung Linh lên hưu rồi.
see what I can do still, right? Get that heart pumping a little bit. But unfortunate for me, I got to pay my bills, Mark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know
It's
anything about
a
that.
big part of life. Skylar said to me last night about playing again next year and
Ván thi đấu thứ 20 này,
me to be broke.
Trang Dung Linh sẽ có quyền phá bi.
Can't depend on
Đến
that.
tầm này thì Kazakhstan chỉ có ngồi nhìn thôi. Không thể đánh được nữa rồi.
I do plan on
Trang Dung
playing a
Linh
little
phá ra hình, đi hết hình cái là
few events this year.
thua ngược. Ui.
First one I played in was August, not till August. Texas State Open. You gotta come down there sometime. What an event.
Có một trận đấu mà cố gắng hết sức
I was
từ đầu trận đấu đến cuối trận đấu. Nhưng đối thủ không bao giờ bỏ cuộc.
Eric's, yeah. Or I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
longer back.
No, it was
they
Eric's.
had it at the Q Club.
Ván thi đấu thứ 20.
before.
Trang Dung Linh phá bi.
That was Eric, so I went a couple of years.
Sốc.
Right there. Okay.
6 đã rồi.
Comes off hot.
Một có đường riêng không? Không có đường riêng vì số 1.
Definitely going to be a rollout to some type of kick shot here. Love to tie something up if you could.
Right.
Don't really see that option. Not a good one, anyways.
Khó rồi. Đùi rúi rụi và
Rollout
chạy
is
an
too
toàn.
easy of a kick, though.
3 phút sau luôn.
Well, he's got a little sliver of it, but he won't shoot at that. Or he shouldn't shoot at that. He's looking. He
Kazakhstan
does
vẫn
have
được
a
chơi.
sliver. I'm looking right down the line, but the kick shot's the shot. The only thing is you have to come in with a little spin, right, Mark? A little right
Yeah.
spin.
If you want to take some pace out of that cue ball.
High right. And the one's a bit more off, you know, it's a
Yeah.
half diamond up.
No, you know,
I think he's supposed to take it.
I think he's supposed to pass it back.
Really?
I don't think he's going to come out the exchange real good here.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is, the problem is you might not like it, but I think Chang's going to execute it. That's my fear.
And you're right. It's so much harder to make yourself do it where Chang has no alternative. So he's just going to go for it, you know. But
Yeah, but he's good at this too. This is where you know your opponent on rollouts and stuff, knowing that he usually hits this pretty square.
Oh yeah.
And he knows where to aim with it.
Kazakhstan
Doesn't flinch on
quyết
the
định nhường
stroke.
lại.
You know, the two, it shouldn't be in the way.
Pha này gót 1
He cut it.
rồi, tuy nhiên thì con cái không hai băng ra mà dính vào 5.
Forward, he got it.
Nhưng có đuôi không?
I think he's got an offensive shot.
Trông giống là không đuôi.
He's got a piece of the one.
Vẫn còn má chạm.
I think he can see it, but if he can't, he's still no worse for wear. I mean, because you can lose with Chang's shot, and that's what's hard to make yourself do. Kick at that ball, even though you know he's pretty good at it. You know you can lose because here's the master gave up a shot.
Yeah. Well, I think that's, it's a combination of doing some calculations, how good are you at the shot? Now he's going to try and stab this around and kind of slow draw the ball towards the 7, maybe just holding behind the 3-4.
I thought he might just bank the one up and down the center of the table there and try to put the cue ball down table here, but guess not. Oh, okay, he went this
You
way.
better have some good speed here.
Looks like he does.
No, it's too much.
Uh-oh.
I liked your shot,
That's
to be
Thôi,
honest with you.
A băng lòi
Especially
mất
under
rồi.
pressure, just being able to level out.
Kazakhstan ơi.
Is what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
Bank the one straight up table. maybe just come across mildly behind the 3-4 on the end rail.
It was good all the way to the last foot. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it was sort of on the lines. They were all going to work out okay until that last foot. Now he's got to hope that, Chang makes an unforced error because the balls are fairly open. They're not easy.
Yeah, besides just a couple of things too, you got to feel bad for Alex because he really played some great pool in this match. It looked a little thin. This has got to slow down just enough. And he can get to the other side of the 3. That's the other thing. Not only is he still have a shot, he still has the right angle to get to the good side of the 3.
Yeah, that was a big last no turn of one more revolution. for
Con bi số 1
Chang.
ra, con bi cái dừng lại. Phải gọi là season seed bi số 2. Vẫn ăn được.
Getting
Yeah.
the 3 here would go a long ways towards winning this match.
Say it again.
If he gets on the 3 good here, that would
Oh,
go a
yeah.
long ways for him to win.
I think the make is more of a problem than the position. I didn't want to get on the rail, of course, and now he may have to come up and play the.
Với nội dung 10 bi trên bàn Bigfoot này thì là loại trực tiếp nhé.
He's looking at the.
Có
7.
16 cầu thủ thi đấu thôi ạ.
Does he have to come up and play the 4 in the same pocket as the 3 here? Does he have too much angle, or can he go forward and play from underneath the 4? Looks like to me he may have to come up and play in the same.
That looks like the more trying to get on the side pocket where he's standing now is tough. That's
Oh,
what
he
he's
could
going
do
for.
it. He could do it. He even overcut that a little. as
Suýt
he
nữa thì
got
nắc.
there, so the
Không.
camera will fool us.
Bàn
ladies
là
and
lỗ
gentlemen,
to.
that's for sure. The 7 does go.
6 bi.
Yeah, he fluttered that ball in though. He did not hit that pure. And the 7 goes. Let's see. Yeah, looks like it.
Now, he would like to get close to it, though. I'm not saying, like, he has to be right on top of it, but you don't want to be miles away from this 7 ball.
Không biết là con bi số 7 như thế nào đây, có thể cộng 79 hay không. Nhưng nếu mà trong cái trường hợp này mà để đi carom 79 là còn phải tính cái đường điều con bi số 7 nữa cơ.
Yeah.
Carom xong con 7 đi đâu, con cái đi đâu.
Thicker hit
Khó
here
đấy ạ.
right there, right? So you definitely
Vẫn
didn't
chưa hết
wanna
tình
get
huống đâu.
this thin.
Và tầm khớp căng nhảy rồi
It's the kind of shot
đang
that
tâm
can
lý
let up,
xử lý lỗi một con bi phát là thôi.
kick on you a little bit if you let up.
Changes his bridge length there. He's gonna bridge off the rail.
That's the longest bridge I ever seen.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at
for no harder than you're gonna hit it. Yeah.
our. Oh, that was sweet. And when you don't let up like that, you can depend on that throw doing its job.
So he's
It's a
planning the
beautiful
billiard
thing.
on the 9, I think, right?
Ooh,
No?
no, I don't think so.
Rồi,
Put it on the 9. The 9's on the point.
tình
He
huống
didn't
cuối cùng
really
trên
have
bàn.
the point.
No, that's what
4
I'm
con
saying.
bi.
It's an awkward spot to get the cue ball over close to the 8 then because you don't have much pocket to create an angle. You're pretty flat.
I think he'll just draw it, to be honest with you. If he doesn't pound to the rail, we'll see about the tip position. Tip position saying he's going
Okay.
to the rail.
So you got a little more angle than we thought.
If he gets to the spot, he's got to be happy.
vâng ạ, vậy là vẫn có thể đưa được. Cái gì đây, cái gì đây, cái gì đây. Ui,
You can't ask for more than
thoát
this.
hết cả team, cứ tưởng là lại một lần nữa Trang Dung Linh đưa con bi cái xuống lỗ giữa, nhưng
Got
không.
to the spot here where Walker could get out for goodness sakes.
Giải quyết xong tình huống 79 rồi. 8-9
Well, this
quá
is
thuận
the
lợi.
first time we've seen Chang do this type of thing, and hopefully
Trang
Alex
Dung
will
Linh
show
chạm
off
một
a
tay vào chiến thắng rồi.
few mistakes because he played a really exceptional match.
Vâng ạ.
besides just like I said, a couple things.
Một con bi số 10 nữa để đóng khuôn tỷ số 11-9 cho Trang Dung Linh.
Yeah, quality
Chính
effort
xác là
there.
11-9 luôn.
Chang
Quá hay.
never let up.
Màn lội ngược dòng ngoạn mục
You know, I wanna thank everyone
rất
for sharing
lì
their
lợm
time with us
của
today.
cầu thủ người Đài Loan Trang Dung Linh.
That's
Kazakit
time.
sẽ dừng bước ở nội dung 10 bi.
So long.
Anh em có thể vào fanpage Lão Mõ để cổ vũ cho anh Dương Quốc Hoàng nhé. Dương Quốc Hoàng đang đánh một trận thi đấu ở dưới nhánh thua. Có một cái luồng livestream mới ở trên fanpage á. Rồi ok, tôi sẽ tắt cái luồng livestream này đi. Anh em có thể sang fanpage Lão Mõ để tiếp tục cổ vũ cho cầu thủ Dương Quốc Hoàng nha. Bye bye.